rain could, no, the rain could.
welcome back to Metropole Grid. I'll take any excuse to come in on a saxophone solo, that's for sure. How's everyone doing? Happy 2023, second stream of the year. We snuck one in on you, didn't we? Hope you're doing well. It is Thursday, January 5th, 2023. You write that 2, then you put a line in the middle because you wrote it wrong, but you'll fix it, and no one can tell. Hopefully you're doing well. We got some Netrunner tonight. It's a couple of weeks in Netrunner, in fact. It usually is. We have Netrunner this evening. And then on Sunday, there's going to be some more Netrunner. And then Thursday following that. And then I think next weekend after that too, it's the Circuit Breaker Invitational. So if you want to like watch Netrunner, play Netrunner to some extent, yeah, buckle up. How's everyone doing? Yo, Yggdrasil, it's time for the weekly Netrunner meetup. Hope you, Andre, and everyone else in chat had a good, as good of a winter holiday as possible. Hey, cheers, Yggdrasil. How was your holidays? Happy New Year. I had a really pleasant time. I talked about a bit about this more on Monday when we streamed. We had some car troubles. We got, I don't want to say stuck because it feels like a bad connotation. But yeah, stayed with family for a while. It was nice. It's actually quite nice. Hey, Solomir, how's it going? Happy New Year to you as well. How's your New Year? Netrunner every weekend. To some extent. Really excited to see some big tournament play, especially with the new set, right? Like the new set is nearly a month old, not even a month old, and you haven't seen a lot of people publish a lot of deck lists. A lot of people are holding that stuff, you know, keep your secrets close to your chest. And so I think you're going to see the first like breakout decks, maybe the archetypes. And then the real cool thing, by the way, if you don't know what I'm talking about, we're talking about what I think is called Fight Night, but every once in a while I call it Fight Club, is a tournament PSK has been running now for a minute. We streamed one of them. They're 4v4 team tournaments. So in competitive Netrunner, there's no rules to this. You can come together with you and your friends and you can make a testing group or a play group or whatever you want to call it. And you and your friends come together with similar goals from different backgrounds and with different strengths and talents. And you put yourself together on a quest for competitive Netrunner domination. And it works out. For real talk, making a testing group is one of the best things you can do if you want to improve your Netrunner skills. Just having like-minded people and having different points of view on some of the problems you're trying to tackle. There's a couple of these testing groups you might be knowing if you've been watching Worlds and competitive Netrunner for even like the last couple of years. Some of these names keep showing up. And so this tournament takes 4 of those teams internationally from around the globe coming together to fight off 1v1, 4v4, one team versus one team until there's only one team left. A battle royale of sorts. Where are we dropping? First round, Sunday on this channel. It's going to start at 9 p.m. Eastern. I think it's 15 CET. It says here 15 hours CET, and we're gonna be streaming. It's gonna be Snare Bears versus Unbanned, which I said this before. That's the team that came in second at Worlds and the team that came first at Worlds in final placement. It's not an overall rankings. Maybe you want to take that and figure out which team's the best. Who knows? I didn't realize Fight Night was happening already, but now I know where I can copy a deck list for tournaments next Monday. Yo, that's why I brought it up, because this is going to be such a big deal, not only for your Monday casual events, but for the weekend after it. Because if I'm not mistaken, for Circuit Breaker Invitational tournaments, which is the following weekend, deck lists are like 2 hours before. Like deck list submissions are really, really late. So you might see a lot of people just be like, oh, that's the archetype that won Fight Night. Here we go. And then you're going to see the meta swing around it. We're all going to play Ag Infusion, or you know how it ends up. Something like that. My holidays were hectic and busy, but very good. No complaints. Hey, glad to hear. Hey, Vincent, I've been on break from work, so I haven't needed Jaina to distract me from any productivity. Excited to delve into the new stuff when I get busy again. If you want to play some Netrunner instead of working, there's a lot of stuff to play. Not even a Monday casual event. It's supposed to be a big deal recurring tournament run by none other than Whiteblade. Oh, cool. I got his notification from the Discord. I thought it was like a local thing. Wait, maybe it is. That's awesome. A recurring big deal tournament. What are the stakes? I know Eric has been working on like organizing a whole bunch of stuff, which is really cool. Hey, Seabass. So excited for this. Yeah, Vancouver local. Okay, that tracks. I know, yeah, Eric is, you know, behind closed doors. He has some scheming. He's up to some stuff. There's some events and stuff he's planning, which is really exciting. I think that's fantastic. I'm glad I luckily dodged other events when scheduling my next draft, January 22nd. I'm talking to someone who I think is in your draft. What kind of draft are you doing, X-Ray? Anyways, Fight Night. That's this Sunday. Tune in. Obviously the VOD will be here too, but we're gonna have some commentators too joining from both of the teams. We have some people showing up, so we're gonna hear maybe their side and how they got to this point in time. But yeah, I think we broadcast the final of Fight Night last year, and it was really fun. It's on this channel. Link will be in the description. But we had a really good time. Yo, Diogene, how's your week been? Hey, how's it going? This week, shouting at someone's week, maybe not so good. Pat was meant to be here. It is the first week of the month. Pat's feeling a bit under the weather, so wish him well if you can. Maybe he'll be around sometime in the future, but I was hoping we'd sit down and play some absolutely fabulous op with Pat. I did play this deck on Monday, so it should already be loaded into JNet, but I found it to be quite fun. I like asset spam op. Kind of think it's pretty mean, and a lot of decks are not fit to deal with this. I do think a couple tech cards for this deck and you're actually in a really, really, really good spot. And while people don't love the tech card meta, this deck actually has kind of a narrow win condition. And if you compare this to the other op list, the Bridgman op that was doing really well in the Continental season, this deck has a worse agenda suite, and actually it's way harder, it's way more difficult for this deck to score out. And that being said, it's bolstered that downside by having a very more direct kill package. And this is something I didn't really appreciate so much, but the idea here now with the new card End of the Line, it's only a singleton in this deck, but now with 3 Gaslights, we have ways to find them more consistently, is we're using the op ability. When your Urban Renewal ticks down and does 4 meat damage, you can go trash this, it trashes itself, and with op ability, you go to get a 0 coster, you got a Drago Ivanov, then on your turn, you do advanced events in the line. And that does what? 8 meat damage, which is hard to survive. In fact, a single copy of what's it called doesn't do it. Wait, does it? Yeah, a single copy of Stone Ship Chart Room doesn't do it. So that's a really cool combo. And we saw even on this stream, we died to like Drago on the table, End the Line, as soon as turn 1 playing Adam. I feel like that is a mean combo that's going to blow out some people. But if you just install too many things out of nowhere, End of the Line, Gaslight, Hard Hitting News, all that sort of stuff is really quite mean. Cube half draft, I think I have 10 registered, maybe 9. Excited is assuming everything still lines up. It'll be like the first half draft. If there was a way to do booster draft on the net, I'd definitely try it out. Ixaron, there must be. I have no doubt there must be a way to do a booster draft online. A&R sealed, I think, can make boosters. If you do A&R sealed, it can generate packs, and then you can just distribute those, and you can do them online. Yeah. New monthly Vancouver event for standard, very exciting. Ooh, hey, Eric. What's your prize support like? How often are you doing it? Monthly, I see. That's cool that's in person, man. I miss playing Netrunner in person. Locally, there's being local meetups on Monday nights, but yeah, I can't make them. Monthly store credit. To what store? I hope it's Canadian Tire. I've scoured and scoured for official booster support. A&R sealed can't generate packs with rarity. Oh, that's true. Yeah, there's no rarity system in Netrunner inherently, so somebody would have to make one. But I honestly think it's quite possible. Timmy, how's it going, Rongi? I think it'd be quite possible to make a rarity thing for Netrunner and then cobble together something that makes packs. That can't be too hard. We can do it. Connection games. And we don't have those here. Probably no one else has those besides Vancouver. But that's dope. That's really, really cool. There's a dearth of Timmy Hoes in Vancouver, honestly. Yeah, it's kind of... Wait, at this point in time, I'll be honest. I never remember what dearth means, whether it means there's too little or too much. With the word Tim Hortons, I would think too much. I feel like even a small quantity of Tim Hortons might be too much. Oh, you're too close to Seattle and Starbucks? Yeah, that tracks. I think you're winning that one, though. Yeah, hey, Macaroni, how's it going? Meteor can do cube draft? Yeah, Meteor can do cube draft. That 3x3 draft thing, too. Trash or Buster rating equals rarity? Yo, Mr. Sticks, how's it going? Yeah, kind of. Also, I believe Jeff has added the new card to Trash or Busta, which is pretty sick. I could use a booster playtest generator and I have one, but it's a time thing that competes with developing the cube further. Oh, that's fair. Yo, give me a list of every card in your cube and give me 45 minutes to 10 minutes, and I will assign them all rarities. I will use the rarities from the skins in Fortnite because I think that is common and uncommon, and I've not played Fortnite. It came up as an only connect question. Let's play this deck. Also depends what your like rarity system is. Like, what do you think a card is more powerful, makes it more rare generally, but that's not meant to be what, you know, that's not meant to be the rarity system according to Richard Garfield. It's meant to be about more unique and specific cards, right? So a mythic card could be like Poison Vial, right? It's not a card every deck wants, but there's certain decks where it's cool. But like something like Account Siphon, that's a common card. Every criminal deck ran 3 of them, am I right? I've been doing a rarity assignment in the background as a fun project for that very reason. Cool. What are your rarity system? I honestly don't know the Magic the Gathering rarity system. The only rarity systems I'm familiar with are probably like Hearthstone, which I think is the same rarity system for all Blizzard games, I think. To date, I'm not sure. If someone shows me a blue object and a green object and a looter shooter, which one is meant to be more rare? I cannot for the life of me understand that people find a hierarchy rating system between the colors blue and green. Like orange, gold, purple, yeah, now we're talking about rarity systems. But blue and green? That's literally the same color. Is endurance rare? Lucas, endurance? Probably one step above rare. Common hedge fund? Probably Diogene. I don't know. Probably. But like, I feel like in draft, it's probably not common. But yeah, it's a common card. Is it? Maybe we have to do like Carpe Diem, like a what's it called? Easy Mark. That's common. And then Sure Gamble is like a rare. Like that's a nice thing. Uncommon Spin Doctor. Yeah, I feel like I'm on board there. Alec, how's it going? I use 4 common, uncommon, rare, mythic. Okay, that sounds like Magic, right? Rare HHN. HHN should be mythic. HHN is like a build around, right? It's like a card that you don't want to shouldn't just show up in a deck, right? It should be like, oh, it's an HHN deck. Is Planogram common? Planogram's super common. Planogram is like boring fundamentals. Any card that's boring fundamentals is like Sprint, common. I don't care. Sprint is uncommon, let's be honest. But like common, Palisade. I don't think that's contestable. Tithe, common. Overclock, rare. Or uncommon. The fact that uncommon is a thing actually is messing me up. So it goes common, uncommon, rare, mythic. Okay, so rare is rarer than I think it is. I would love to jam 4 more planograms in a draft deck, not gonna lie. Ad campaign the Platonic common. I have played, and I think it's the rules on A&R Sealed is that all, I think advertisements, assets get +2 trash cost because you're gonna need a lot of asset economy in those decks. And yeah, that campaign is just good enough, just good enough. Rare Reality 3D. Reality 3D seems to me like it could be common booster chaff. And nobody plays unless they have to. Because nobody wants to play Reality 3D. I'd say Plano is uncommon, Beanstalk and Anonymous tip common. That's true. If they all exist in one archetype, yeah, you're right. It's strictly better than those. Secret rare. I don't know what secret rare is. And I feel like that could be a made up term to show how little I know about whatever Magic is doing these days. What are we discussing? The idea of having booster packs to draft Netrunner based off of a rarity system, right? Because that's kind of the pleasure in some extent of drafting, you know, like Flesh and Blood or Magic, is getting a pack and knowing like, oh, the rare is not in there, or however exactly Magic works again. Mythic Trieste? Almost, yeah. Fortnite is common, gray. Uncommon, green. Rare is blue. Epic is purple. I can't believe green and blue are that different. Legendary, gold, orange, mythic, gold, yellow. The top of it totally makes sense. I think everyone naturally goes purple, orange, gold in their mind. It's a secret. Hey, Sophie. I play too much dang Fortnite these days. It's actually fun now. I feel like Fortnite probably gets a bad rap. But the fact that they removed building kind of just makes it seem like a nice little third-person shooter that your friends can kind of jam out in and not think too much. Secret Rares is not Magic, it's Pokemon? For real? Boat is a mythic that's worth $80 at the pre-release. Imagine getting a cold foil boat on pre-release in your draft pool. And then everyone's like, I was in the pool with the cold foil endurance. We had no chance. I don't know what game before WoW used green, blue, purple rarity. To me, this seems like that just might be Blizzard stuff. Bronze, silver, gold, diamond, or deep red. That's Pokemon. Challenge a Shaper without endurance? Pretty easy. I think we're playing a Shaper without endurance today, Diogene. I'm pretty sure Deer canonically says that in the World Tree Shaper list, the Wu deck, endurance is a tech card, and that it might be optimal, whether you believe it or not, to play Anacom. And I kind of get it. Like 64 card deck, you need to go fast. Hey, Fightarian, I'm doing well. How are you? Welcome. We're just queuing for a game, so could be a lot worse. D has changed their mind on this, I think. Okay, never mind. Roll up the carpets. It's endurance the whole way. I'm very surprised that endurance wasn't in the deck. How's it going? Eric Bade. I feel like you might have face rolled the keyboard. How's it going? I still have no idea what the hierarchy is in Marvel Snap since there's animation levels and stuff. I don't know. Ooh, shiny. Marvel Snap, I don't understand the tier list. And the series thing is also like super secretive. They don't show it for some reason. And I think it's because it's confusing to new players. Thanks, you too. Draft is really fun, Armando. It's hard to do like a rarity draft in Netrunner. It's very easy to do like cube draft in Netrunner. Okay, we're playing against 419. That's never good. Against 419, generally with assets, we will trade the exposed credit for just getting more stuff on the table. We have to watch out that we don't get diversion of funds, but I can't imagine this is a good matchup. We'll see how many, what's it called, Miss Bones' people are playing. Legal Salsa, huh. This hand's not good. We generally need to win on the table soon enough, and this is like a defensive hand. We have our one of Azyef, but we want to put stuff on the table. That's not the worst. Well, yeah, we have Afshar for HQ. That's kind of good. Organizing cube drafts isn't necessarily easy. Practically, it's a nightmare. Like, practically to get a cube draft in person, oh, oops, all urban renewals, is a lot of work. You can draft online, though. But yeah, it's not easy. No. Because why have secrets when every card is the same? Marvel Snap has no real concept of cost power rarity. Like Galactus is weaker than Cyclops. Yeah. No, it's all really weird. It's all really strange numbers there. Cyclops, though, and like Wolverine are kind of weird points on the graph, but pretty sure Deer changed their mind almost just for the MU. Oh, that's really cool. Hey, Vinny, how's it going? Longtime fan, first time catching a stream. Thanks for the content. Cheers. Thanks for the kind words. I appreciate you enjoying the content, like for real. And leaving a nice comment. That's good. We've been doing this for a bit. It's nice to know people care. Dirty Laundry. All right, they're gonna figure out what this is. They already knew it's the urban renewal. It takes 3 to trash. They want to bring that down. Now they're just getting money. Can we afford to pay 1 for this urban renewal? We could have economic warfare into hardening news in our hand, which would have been okay. We're gonna do this just because it forces them to do something. And then we can put 2 more cards on the table. Our last click would either be click for a credit or draw. Let's draw once. It's unfortunate we lose all 3 of these, but we need to get stuff on the table. I'm actually using 6 rarities, but Chaff and Band are self-explanatory. Getting a cube draft together has been easy for me. I'm not disagreeing, but GLC has been very kind to me. Because you do your drafts online, right? Ooh, that's good. Online drafting, that's super easy. But like getting all those cards together in those sleeves, I feel like that's something I want to do with like the older rotated standard cards. It's just build a draft, and let alone mix in like these things. These are fun. But years of experience running events, it's a hard learning process. I believe it. After on HQ, that's only 1 strength with Amakua. So if they want to get through, they only need 1 credit. If they don't have money, they can lose the 2 credits. It's not a problem. So they could diversion sooner than later. Top of R&D also, with an Amakua down, they can steal our SDS drone deployments. The deck runs, I believe, 7 agendas. We have very little scoring plan. They didn't trash something here. Now, they know the urban renewal has to come down at some point. And like, this is as scary as it is that if we have like a launch campaign into a Svigator and we have the end of the line in hand, we can always like Svigator away the 1 coster. If one of these is a Svigator, they could die. Like on the spot, they could die. If this is a Svigator and we have, I think we're actually short credits. No, but Svigator gives you credits. Like that's how wild this is. You res the Svigator, you sell the urban renewal, you get the Drago, you do advance. If we have a Svigator on the table and end the line in hand, they're dead. These board states are absurd sometimes, how quickly they come for you. Best defense. All right, drawing an end of the line of the Gaslight would be good. Rashida, Spin Doctor. Dredge work is good enough. Oops, all urbans. I think we can put this on a table and hit it. And the big thing is not that dredge work. We want to get the agenda out of our hand because it might actually be safer behind the Afshar. Is that we want to get this becomes a 1 coster. Like we just need to get more stuff on the table. It's just unfortunate when we res this here and they see what it is. The Amakua counter doesn't really matter. Like we have an ice with 1 strength. So we're putting this back in. It's money technically. But we haven't drawn hard hitting or Gaslight or Spin Doctor. There's a lot of things we'd want to draw here. Would rarity depend on how useful a card is and or how common it seems? Hedge fund, common, or guaranteed? There's a lot of philosophy behind that. In theory, the most powerful cards, I was reading this today, a quote from Richard Garfield, right? Like the most powerful cards are meant to be commons. Or maybe that was, what's his name? The Flesh and Blood guy, White, James White. And so those are meant to be the backbone of your deck, right? Like the Stone Ship Chart Rooms, the Diesels, those are all the commons. And then the more complicated cards are the ones that are, you know, have higher rarity. It doesn't always work like that. There's the Svigator. So if we draw an end of the line, they lose. Right? Like all we have to do is draw an end of the line and not draw the Drago. So a Gaslight or end of the line does it. Well, with the Svigator, we can always get a Spin Doctor too. So we've drawn a lot, but not a lot of agendas. I did a monthly online. I also have a meat space cube that I draft, but I don't have a local meetup, and so it's a bit more of a challenge, and smaller drafts are at higher variance. The online medium is a big difference. All my draft-related events have been mostly within my meta, even we draft online. Can't tell you the last time I did online in-person draft. We have some videos up on the channel where we did in-person draft. So we res the Afshar here. We just end up losing more money. Like we'll go down to 0, and I don't want to go down to 0. So we're just gonna lose the 10, I think. Yeah. So if we res this, right, like they lose. Thinking. Hey Frisbee, how's it going? Because we res the launch campaign. No, I think we just eat this. I don't think we res this because then we lose all our money. But then they have less to take. No, we res it and then we just duck. Yeah, we'll res and then res everything. Like they know what this is, but this actually costs them money. We def res everything. Yeah, we're gonna res everything. We don't have to res the Sphere to Gore. It doesn't do anything. But this means that they actually get less money out of us, and we still have the Astro Bar. They have 2 clicks though, so they can trash both of them. But like if this Sphere to Gore sticks, like we are credit positive. And this is the turn where this becomes a Spin Doctor, or like in theory can become what's it called? The guy that hurts you. But I feel like they need to take down obviously the Urban Renewal. So we top deck and end the line, we win. I do my stuff in the GLC hash drafts channel. Always happy to have new players, and this month is a half draft, so it's easier, faster, and fits more players. Okay, so we got to think here. We're gonna get a 0 coster, that's for sure. We can get a 1 coster, not so great, but we might as well just sell the launch campaign with the Sphere to Gore, unless we need 2 zeros. Oh, we can't get 2 zeros. That's just not how it works. So we'll do the Sphere to Gore first here. Still 0 cost. We'll get a Spin Doctor for options. The other option is the Gaslight, which they have to deal. Drago would be lethal again if we had the 1-of in our deck, which I feel like should be more of a 1-of considering how strong this win condition is. So we'll do a Spin Doctor in a new remote. All right, that hand's awful. But hey, we have this. We don't want to empty it this turn because we'll be robbed our 1 coster. Amaku is getting big. The Spin Doctor will get back in these 2. So once we end the drudge work, it can become something. So I think we can just put this, their money's not great. How do you play this hand? This I don't mind, because if they take down their Amakua to steal this, I think we're in a good spot. Thinking, this is actually really tricky. How do you play this? So we want to hit the drudge work. Then I think we ice up R&D, and then we ice up this. I think they have to take down this Sphere to Gore. That's the next big thing they have to do. Maybe it's okay keeping the drudge work again, or sorry, the SDS again, because the Amaku is not a target they can get rid of. But here, this drudge work next turn for a click, we can make it into a 1 coster, so we can pull out another copy of Urban Renewal. We just have to keep them forcing them to interact with us, because hard-hitting news will show up at some point. I've heard a dozen stories of people who pulled Force of Will originally as an uncommon, brushed it off, and now kick themselves. Now it's a legacy vintage staple. Hey Soul, is that really expensive now? There's that one guy, I don't know his name, but there's that like enduring story of he's a Quebecois player. I think he's from Quebec City, who is doing a draft somewhere in Vegas online and then got a card in a pack, a foil card, and it's like streamed, right? Everyone's watching, and it's clearly a bad card for his deck, and there's a better card for his deck, and then he takes the money card, which turns out to be worth a lot of money. They weren't paid well, and it's kind of a real big story there. And funny enough, the card that he didn't draft that would be better for his deck ended up knocking him out of the tournament. So yeah. It's a Tarmogoyf. Thank you. Yeah, that's the one. Foil Tarmogoyf too. All right, they ran there. So in theory, we have some plays. So we could consider Spin Doctoring here. We don't actually need to do it before the start of turn, unless we want to. Launch campaign for Gaslight is kind of neat, but we haven't iced it up. Oh man, this deck is really tricky. You need a lot of reps with this to know what to pursue. I think we want to get rid of the Azyaf, so I don't think we'll use our Sphere to Gore unless we use it for a Spin Doctor, but then this play doesn't actually do anything. Yeah, maybe this is fine. Gaslight's sick. Gaslight is we need. That's actually a piece. Tarmagate. All right, so we're going to use a Spin Doctor to get back into these. We're going to hit this. What's our next click? We should draw once, because we're going to install this, hit that. So we'll draw once because we can shuffle back. Oh, that's in hand. So we don't actually need the thing to, we need a 1 coster to stick. So they have to trash both of these eventually. So we're going to get a 1 coster from our deck. We'll get an Urban Renewal. We'll put in server 5. And we'll put this on the table, which can be an economic warfare or hard-hitting news. Funny enough, the ob install actually gets around 419 because it is the first install of turn. So, and it's installed face up. So 419's trigger turns off. But now if they don't deal with the speed to gore, they're exposing an asset. It's a gaslight. We'll go ahead and res that. But if they don't trash either of these and have less than 4 cards in hand, they're dead. They can play a whole bunch of tech cards to get around this, but they can do it. Hey, Sumi, good to see you. You mentioned that you'd like to take a deeper look at the Nemec card design. Was that still in the cards? So we went through, I think at the end of one stream one day, we went through just like Anarch cards. And I think we went through maybe 40 of like the 80 Anarch cards. And we kind of went pretty fast. We did Trash or Busta. We looked at a card and thought like, is this good? Is this too good? Is it way too bad? And even that, it took so long. At some point I'd want to do it. Unfortunately, it was like 3 days after that we did that. The new set came out, Parhelion, which obviously grabs a lot of our attention. But it's something I'd love to go through. It's just faster, obviously. It's 1,000 cards. We can't spend a lot of time talking through every single card, but I do want to go through it just because there's a lot. It runs $80 even with the recent reprint. Woof. I must have missed it. Thanks for answering. Of course. What's that? Gaslight's trash cost is 2. It's very good. It's very good. And at this point, like they have to consider whether they're going to run Gaslight or not. Because like, what's the worst case scenario? If they run and don't trash the Gaslight, we'll get hard hitting news or economic warfare. But the big fork here is if they don't trash both of our 1-costers, or more accurately trash the Svidagore. All right, they have 4 cards in hand, so we can't kill them this turn. Gaslight, we could go get a hard hitting news. I don't think we need to. Launch campaign gets trashed. That's actually kind of ugly. We get a Spin Doctor with it though. So we can choose the ordering here. So we're going to Svidagore the launch. A 0-coster, we can get a Rashida to force a run. With Drago, we can do advance, but then end of the line doesn't do enough damage. They have enough cards in hand. So we could just do a Spin Doctor, I guess. We want to get more 2-costers on the table. Trash Gaslight to search an operation. We might as well. Just have a hard hitting news. They know we have it. All right, and we just put more stuff on the table. This is down at 2, so once this triggers, they have a bunch of things. So we got more 1-costers on the table. And they know now if they run, it's an issue. We'll just take a credit here. We have a best defense in our pocket if they do put down like a no free lunch. What's Gaslight is better than the tech startup? Yeah, it can be. That's an issue. That is definitely an issue. But we'll generally try and Drago them once and then kill this. So we will have to go out of the way to Drago this aggressively. But yeah, no, it's good. Especially, it's like an early blowout. Like there's no asset on the table turn 1, but if they run and then they don't trash this in CTM Gaslight and we have a hard hitting news, like the fact they can guarantee hard hitting news is a bit nonsense. I honestly don't know if we Rashida here. Nuka. Oh, that's really cool. I like Nuka. So we're going to do this. We're going to do mandatory. Ugh. We want ice actually. So maybe we should Rashida. Unfortunately, yeah, we will Rashida. No, we won't Rashida. Yeah, whatever, I rezzed her. So we'll do wall-to-wall first to at least gain a credit. We're going to have 7 cards in hand. We'll gain a credit. We'll do Urban Renewal. We'll Svidagore away the this thing. Find a 0-cost, that'll be Drago. New remote. All right, then we do advance. Give the runner tag. I'll just trash this. Now they still have to run. This hand's a bit awkward. Throwing out a Spin Doctor feels bad. I feel throw out a Rashida here. But now they know we have a Rashida in the wings. We obviously res that really silly. But they're going to pinhole threading, take down the Urban, which is fine. They also have to, this is cool too, because it technically threatens the what's it called? The Spin Doctor, because we don't know which card they're going to pivot to. To me, they have to pivot to the Urban Renewal. I don't know why they can't then just run with the Amakua, but like I reckon this threatens everything. That's why. So Urban Renewal comes down. We have a hard hitting news in hand. Now this guy has to go down, which with a Spin Doctor on the table is a bit awkward. But they have a tag. And they have less cards in hand. So they have to clear the tag and or drop. Or at least one of those. They didn't clear the tag. Oh, no. Oh, no. That feels bad. We don't even have to do any of these. Yeah, single tag. 4 meat damage. You have to watch out. That's the surprising one. I think this deck could run more of these. Like, I don't know. I feel like there's so many cool win conditions with this card that people are not expecting it, like myself included. Like, it's really, people are not used to floating one tag. Yeah, that's the new one. Really easy to forget. It's really easy to forget that. They drew up once, should have just removed. Yeah, I think so. Yeah. If they remove it though, at that point we have hard hitting news on the table, so it's like it's hard either way. Yeah. It's hard whatever they do, because if they clear the tag again, they would be on like I think 6 credits and then hard hitting news lands, and then they're in a world of hurt as well. So it's kind of a no-win situation to some extent. Yeah. I dropped the boom for second EO because maybe squeeze a third. I think you're right, like Lucas. I think I like the end of the line so much just because they have like so many. Hey, cheers you too. There's so many situations where it's like super lethal on certain turns. Like if you just have it, you win. So I'm gonna make that change. The same thing with the other deck. With the other deck I played, the Bridgman list, I ran, I think, more Audacities. I was running 2 Audacities because there were so many turns where the Urban Renewal went off and somebody would float a single card. And then you'd be like, oh, Audacity, IZF Protocol. And that would win on a lot more board states than people expected. So I feel like whether it's cheesy or not, I do feel like that's worth keeping in mind. Been a long time since I ever seen you stream, sir. Hey, how's it going? Welcome. Kali Bossix. We've been streaming. We've been streaming this month twice this year, which is a pretty high rate. We're gonna do 2 end of line and we're gonna drop a boom. Hey, how's a 419? The Urbans were so rough. Haha, yo, good game. An odd radish. Yeah, it's really tricky, and you're totally right there at the end. You knew that we had the hard hitting news in hand, so no matter what you do, you're in a hard spot for sure. It's like kind of tough, right? The run-based economy, even just like a dirty laundry, sometimes you're risking it. And there were turns before that if we had, obviously, if we had the end line, I think there were lethals there. I think trashing the, what's it called? The Svitagor is one of the most important cards because it can pull a, what's it called? A Drago from most board states. It's really, really powerful. Like any card that can give you your op ability is the strongest card in the list. It's Eric. Eric knows how to play this one. Triple Urban opening is really hard for runners, especially without bones. I don't actually know if triple Urban is worth than just like getting your economy on the table. It forces them to interact. They were staggered, which is cool. All right. Hey. This is White Blade. Let's see some tree. This is the deck that we're going to play after. I think the version we were playing is 65 cards. Maybe there's 1 card out here. Thanks, you2. 64. Yeah. What did he cut? Okay, so we got the hard hitting news early. That's one of the best cards in economic warfare. On that alone, I think we can keep that. This deck isn't amazing at dealing with the early economic pressure, and if they're a tree deck, they have to run. So we can keep that. The rest of the hand is not amazing, and Urban Renewal is like okay to force some sort of interaction, but we want to we love to have one more like tempo positive asset, like a Gaslight or a Rashida, something like that. Oh, that's good enough, I reckon. I'm pretty sure this is Eric's band shape article thesis. Yeah, exactly. We're gonna see it, and we talked about that last week. And I agree with Eric's point. I'm just gonna click for credit here. Maybe we should draw, but I don't want to draw last click. Ooh, good economy. Ooh, good economy. This deck doesn't have Malia too, and I've seen some cool lists of this that are also running Malia. Might as well res, I guess. Do we want a card or a credit? We want to get a credit if we want a hard hitting news. So we're just gonna keep economic advantage off of this one. We can ice this up. Veritas, they don't deal with very well. It doesn't end the run, of course, but they don't deal with it amazingly well. Let's get another thing to put on the table. Yeah, that'll do. Something for Eric to think about. 2 cards in hand. Like in theory with 2 cards in hand, there is a board state where Eric dies there, right? Like if this card was a 1-coster and that was a Svitagor, Eric's dead, right? Like that's the wackiness. You just need 5 credits, and not even, because Svitagor gives you credits. You literally need almost nothing. You just need 2 cards on the table and you can threaten damage. Because again, Svitagor is any 1-coster into Drago, and then if you just have the card in hand. Like Eric could have died there. It's low risk, but he could have. I think we still need the credit for the credit lead. Obviously, we need cards on the table. Double Drudge Work. I didn't know this deck had that many Drudge Works. It's usually 1 up. At least that's what I'm used to in the Bridgman lists. So we want, if we're going to shuffle back, we draw first. There you go. That's what we need, and we might have a window here. We don't have the kill piece in hand, so we need a Gaslight. This is same as clicking for credit, except it gives it closer to a 1-coster. We'll see how scared Eric is to get the World Tree down. Again, Kabonesa Wu can tutor stuff from her deck, so things can just show up. Eric playing World Tree, this is a dark timeline. Yo, you gotta like no matter what, if you don't like the archetype, you gotta play it. You have to put some reps in just to understand how it feels and like when does it feel weak? Because sometimes it's hard to tell from across the table. Like, is this a bad opening for Eric? The more you play the deck, the more you'll know. But I think Eric knows that interaction is a bit hard. That being said, I think we can get tech souped out. Like I think the deck is like 3 pinhole threading, as much as that's not consistent. Maybe they're playing some no free lunches. There's the tree. Yggdrasil. Aw. There's the SMC. I think he forgot. He did Kabonesa Wu's ability instead. All right, so that costs a bit more. Pinhole threading. All right. Yeah, he's learning. What a take back. He didn't even ask. Aesop's pawn shop comes down. This is the economy engine. Now, Eric needs to not go down to 3 cards in hand. He has 4 cards in hand. I think it is worth trashing the Aesop's pawn shop. How many pawn shops does the deck run? Does anyone know? How many pawn shops you got? 3. Come on, get out. Yeah, I think you're right, Gat. I think we just hard-hitting news. You can pull a misdirection and it buys us sometime. Maybe we shouldn't res this fee there. Dude deck is busted, Lamau. Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, why take this down when we can take down... yeah, okay. Okay, we don't res this fee to gore. We messed up. That's fine. We'll do wall to wall. Actually, no, we can get the drudge work down. We'll speed to gore the drudge work. 1 cost, we'll get an urban. Yeah, server 1. Temple positive. Here we'll gain a credit. We have drones. Those are not safe. He went down to 3, which is nice. If you're a 4, economic warfare, it takes it off of you. Oh, we got rid of our agenda removal thing. So I think we put this, we hit this, and we hard-hitting news. All right, got 1 link. We got to spend 1. Okay. Can we blame the person who wrote up Blame Changer? Probably. Best defense of Harbinger is about sending a message. Oh, honestly, that actually was probably right. Is the best defense of Harbinger. I think you're kind of correct about that. Oh no, because it just goes face down. Never mind. I thought we'd actually get rid of it. No, you're right. Yeah, I don't know. Bait out the misdirection, pew pew it. I think they're gonna pull out the misdirection and they're gonna lose it anyways. Like I think Eric's gonna pull out the misdirection with Cabo. It'll only exist for 1 turn. Because he doesn't really have the money. Oh, he Harbingers, he gets 5 credits start a turn. Absolutely wrong. Yeah, I thought we'd actually trash it, not just send it face down. So yeah, that's obviously not correct. There's the SMC. Oh no, okay. And again, if he ever goes down to less than 3 cards in hand, he loses. All right, we're gonna best defense that. The deck has 3 simul chips, but he's not world treeing this turn. And I think you want to world tree this daily cast. It's just you can't run here. We can always like, oh, he's running. Ooh, that's risky. I think we have to speed to gore the wall to wall for a spin doctor to get the hard hitting news. Like we have to put him in hell. World treat cast. There you go for casts. Okay. Okay, now I think. Okay, so what can we do here? We can speed gore the wall to wall to get what's it called, the tag giving card. So we can do advance, sell the trash the pawn shop. That being said, the daily cast can become a pawn shop, so it's not actually worth trashing. Getting rid of the daily cast is not bad. Like that's actually okay. Otherwise, we could wall to wall. I don't know what to do here. I feel like the reps in this deck needed to get super proficient are like quite high to figure out what you want to pull. But yeah, if we speed gore for the wall to wall for what's his face, our boy Drago, we can kill the daily cast. I think that's okay. Otherwise, we want to best defense the misdirection, but hard hitting news. This deck only has 2 hard hitting news because it's on Gaslight. It's not like the Bridgman versions which are on 3. So the chance of us like getting a spin doctor into hard hitting news is actually kind of unlikely. So I feel like we have to start Dragoing. We need ice for that too. So I'm gonna draw a card with wall to wall before making any other bigger decisions. We can also get multiple urbans down. I think that's fine. So wall to wall will draw a card and then we'll decide. Rashida, okay. Urban ticks down for sure. Svidagore, do we trash this to get our boy? I think we do. None of our spin doctors are used. 0 cost. I'm gonna go for Drago. We might get an ice on mandatory. Dang. Almost had it. Okay. Just got to keep his fuel down. Again, he's going to start on 5 credits. The misdirection we can just blow up next turn. It's not necessary. But he still has a couple issues to deal with. But yeah, this is going to be hard. This is going to be a fight. Oh man, 2 hard-hitting news. The Gaslight. We never draw them. If he has another misdirection, he can just Woo Tree and get it for free. He does not have another misdirection. I'd be super surprised, Spark, if he does. I'd be so surprised if this deck runs more than one narrow tech card. Okay. So, if we keep a 1 on the table, so next turn, if he doesn't deal with the Urban Renewal, we have Lethal, because this will do 4 into 4, so that's good. I generally think these big Woo decks should run 2 misdirection. Yeah, I don't know, maybe you're right. So here we can get a 1-coster. Urban Renewal goes down for sure. So I feel like we could get a 1-coster. Multiple Woo is actually fine? What the heck is this deck? So if we trash this, we get a 1-coster. What's our 1-costers in our deck? We have left another wall-to-wall, which is actually fine. We have launch campaigns, which is fine. And then that's it, I think. Yeah, it's not the worst, probably. I don't think we need this card, so we will. And we need a 1-coster on the table to ensure Svidagore. So it's an Urban or a wall-to-wall. I think we'll do the Urban. We'll just go for Hell on the table, but like he's kind of cresting a hump. So we can install these 2 and then credit. We can best defense the misdirection. We don't have a Spin Doctor yet. I don't know if we best defense this. I think we hold that because it changes how he plays. We don't have a hard-hitting news yet. We just click for credit here. Boat Corp is great because it's high power but high skill. Must be exhausting to play at tournaments. It's not that bad. I went into Crown of Lasers, never playing Op in person, playing Bridgman Op, and it's way more straightforward because you only have so many 2s, so many 1s, right? Like it's this deck I think is a bit more interesting because you actually have kill combos. That other one you're just trying to set up economic advantage. This one I think you have a couple more proactive plans. But yeah, you definitely get you have to get a lot of reps in. You can HHN next turn. We can't get HHN. Oh, with Gaslight, yeah, we can get HHN, but he has to run. And I don't think he's going to run. I think if we don't trash the misdirection, he might run. But this turn, he doesn't have a really good Kabonesa. Here, he could always like Kabonesa for Harbinger and then run to World Tree the Harbinger into something else. I don't know how good that is. 4 cards. Oh, he's dead. Oh, he's just straight dead. I think we got him. Yeah, he's dead. We don't have to even res any of this stuff. We do Urban. Oh, no, he's not dead because we don't have Drago back in our deck. Oh, shit. Yeah, he's not dead. You're right. He's not. Oh, man, Drago's in the bin. We have to get that back. So I messed up all the reses on all this stuff. I goofed. Spin Doctor, new remote. Fire Rashida. Did I see my mandatory draw? Yeah. I goofed. Drago's in the bin because we tempo Drago to deal with some nonsense before. Yeah, if Drago wasn't in the bin, we'd be okay. We needed that to be a Spin Doctor. Yeah. Jenkins, how's it going? Yeah. We could add. Oh, we didn't see mandatory draw yet. Urban. Choose a Svidagore. No. Oh, okay. Can you shuffle with spin? You can. No, I don't think so. During start of turn abilities, there is no paid ability window between multiple start of turn abilities, I don't believe. I think you just trigger all your start of turns in order. You can't do like start of turn, res, fire, start of turn. I'm like 90% confident on that. Okay. Jeff, how's it going? Glad to see Eric is back for revenge. Hey, we're getting him. How's it going, Sangren? You can tempo Drago via Spinda. Yeah, there's no paid ability window there. We need to get Drago back in rotation. Like, we're still just going to keep jamming on the table. We don't have our hard-hitting news, so we have triple back our Drago and our hard-hitting. We just have a huge hand here that we have to figure out. We also could, like, score out an SDS, maybe. Yeah, maybe. We have economic. And Odzief actually would have been fine, too. And Odzief here, we couldn't fast advance it. If we can start a turn with a single tag, we have lethal damage. We have so many agendas now. I don't know. I think we might just tempo best defense here because this hand is rubbish. We're also not putting anything in server 1, which seems like a mistake. Whatever. I don't see us needing 2 of those. If he SCS the tree, you could probably score before he stabilizes. Yeah, we're going to need ice for that, but I don't think you're wrong. It just, I don't know if we can jam it to install advanced events here. Like, we're really close to something. And he kind of has to run here, right? Like, his world tree is not worth trashing if he's not using it. So, we'll force it. How's it going, Rebecca? You can somehow force an ice encounter during start of turn, then you can use paid abilities. Oh, during a run? Yeah. Because it's a normal run. Yes, use the tree to steal SDS. Okay, he's run, which is, we have hard-hitting news in theory on the table, sort of. Do we have a 1-coster on the table? We have a 1-coster on the table. We actually have a line here, too. He's dead. I think we have it. We have it. He's dead. He's dead. We got it. We got it. We got it. We got it. Just don't mess this up, Andre. Drago goes back in. And I'm just going to put hard-hitting news back in. Yeah, he's straight up dead. As a doornail. We doornailed him. We gotta res this. Okay. Start a turn. Mandatory. Sfida Gore. I could have got 2 credits off launch campaign. Don't judge. Not necessary. Drago. Server 1. See ya later. Oh. Bye. Ooh, finally. Need that guy back in there. GG, man. That is one of the few decks that can really scare them from interacting with World Tree. That is like, they can't run. Like, he cannot run. And we had Gaslight Economic Hardfare News. Like, he has 12 credits suddenly. Like, that's weird. That's kind of messed up. But that's kind of the power of this thing. Is that you can literally cannot let a Sfida Gore sit on the table. Because if they have an end the line in hand and a Sfida Gore and a 1-coster, they usually die. I don't know. This thing seems so busted. This has to be respected. And I do think 2 end the line makes more sense in the deck than Boom, but I haven't played anywhere near as much as the published decklist person. Did Eric let you do it? I don't know what that means. Oh, man. Much less elegant than Sea Scorch, but does the same thing. I think it's much more elegant than Sea Scorch. Obviously, like, they need less than 3 cards in hand, which is something we can kind of force, right? Like, we have 3 urban renewals. You can play Ozyefs and other stuff. Also, like, hostile architecture. There's ways to kind of force the issue a bit more. But super busted runner deck rip. Best deck maybe in the format. I don't know. We're going to try it out now. Like, that's kind of our fate for the rest of this evening, unfortunately. I'm really bad at this sort of thing. But hey, here we are. Wild to me that end of line is actually better at diagnostics, further justify the eternal ban. Yeah, it's absurd. The fact that the tag is not a requirement is really, really funny. It's an additional cost. So yeah, diagnostics gets around it. All right, let's play some tree. I love that Sfida Gore is rated as worse than extract generally. Yeah, but like, yeah. And I think Sangren, we were responsible for that too, to some extent. Extract is like really easy to play. Sfida Gore, as we said, it's like really hard to protect because I think at the time that we did our analysis, like we weren't expecting just full acid spam decks. And then you realize an acid spam deck where you don't have to protect it. And it's best with other assets, obviously, where you are not trashing your own ice. Yeah, absurdly good. I wanted to turn versus the Ob. Cat, what deck do you bring, Cat? What do you have that beats this? I think Freedom beats it really well. I think Jeff Sengren played last night and showed Freedom doing well against it. I've been playing this deck for a week now, and I'm pretty sure it's the best deck I've played in the time I've been playing Netrunner, 3 years, talking about absolutely fabulous. I think that this deck can probably be tuned to some extent. Like, I'm not 100% sure that, again, I have minimal testing versus the person who put this together. But like, I'd be surprised if the Ice Suite, and I think they called that out, let alone some of the asset distribution is the best it can be. I do think End of Line is probably worth playing more than a one of over the Boom. The Best Defense is a huge meta card. Like, you just need to deal with certain zero cost things like what's it called, free lunch. But I'd be surprised. Some of this seems weird. Like the one in Maryland campaign, to me, like maybe Malia is better. I think Malia is actually a really good way that Ob can deal with the same sort of stuff that Best Defense deals with. Like if we had a Malia in the list, do we have a way to get around the Citadel Sanctuary? Yeah, probably. Sable Rex Op? Oh yeah, if our centrals are open, I think Apocalypse is a pretty big deal as well. There's a lot of things that maybe we don't do too well. Essa, I feel, beats it as well. I'd be kind of surprised. Essa goes low hand size sometimes, and like then you just die to random end of line, but maybe. Value Crim? Yeah, I could believe it. How much would losing HHNs weaken this deck? Entirely. Entirely. Like, not having hard-hitting news, it is, yeah, really big. You would just become a very narrow combo deck that can only do one thing, but hard-hitting news is like the glue that holds us together. It's not like, if you just stop us from setting up, we can punish you. And if there's no hard-hitting news, they can just trash every asset, right? It doesn't matter how many credits they have. We're not scoring out. So yeah, huge. It's good to the game. Sea Scorch is death certain if runner have no econ or imp. That state of game makes the game stale. What is good for the game? I'm not complaining about any of this. I think this is really refreshing and cool for what it's worth. But it's immensely powerful, and we've died on turn 1. Yeah, it can happen. Strongest deck by best deck. It needs hostile architecture. I'd be surprised if our hostile architecture fits in this exact build, just because the 5 cost to 4 cost link in this deck specifically isn't very strong. It's just border control, and like the ice in this deck is okay. The ice in the other deck, right? Like the Bridgman deck was actually relevant because you did plan to score out behind 2 ice in the mid game if they dealt with your stuff. So I don't know. HHN rotating yet is what keeps being started these days lately. I think hard-hitting news is really good for the game. It's really bad for the casual level of the game. It's like one of those cards that the discussion for this is so. There's certain cards where we talk about this, where like mid-level tables is a nightmare, high-level tables, it makes Netrunner interesting. Hard-hitting news makes Netrunner interesting. And I think the biggest example of it is if you've seen like startup as of last rotation, where just runners with infinite economy and infinite drip could just literally get away with anything. And hard-hitting news is one of the few cards that keeps you in check. It's no longer can you get in, it's should you get in. And while that disincentivizes just like fun running and just like hitting centrals and like poking stuff, and I admit that's a fun part of Netrunner, it's so important for the backbone of this game, for standard for a long time, for there to be a real threat. You can't just run all over the corporation. They're going to come for you. What were you expecting, right? I don't know. As much as hard-hitting news is horrible for a new player who runs turn 1 and loses on the spot, potentially, I'm kind of for it. I think a lot of people are. HHN's also the weakest has been in years. Yeah, I couldn't really say about the Parhelion meta because I don't think I'm plugged into it too heavily yet. We'll see on the weekend, huh? But yeah, it was way stronger when it came out. At that point, it was even more toxic when there was like assets turn 1, if you don't deal with, you lose. And then a punishment for running on turn 1. So it's definitely weaker than it's been. That's for sure. Wu and Ops seem to be both high skill decks, which I think is good for the meta. Yeah, we'll find out. I'm gonna eat my words when I say Wu might not be. Just in the next 20 minutes, we'll prove that wrong. I think the op deck is not as high skill as you might expect it to be, but maybe I'm downplaying it a bit. I think you have to see, like, you're looking 2-3 turns in the future, which is obviously sick, but you should be doing that for any corp. But I think op is a bit more overwhelming because people see toolbox when they think op, but it's really not. It's like my 2-coster always becomes an urban renewal. My urban renewal always becomes this unless I need a spin doctor. Like, it's not as bad as you think. I think the ones that are a bit more high skill cap, again, no shame to this deck, I love it, or the Bridgman deck, which I love it to death, one of my favorite Netrunner decks in a long time, is I think the start of stuff that like B-Blum is playing, I think that one has a bit more creativity too, because you have to deal with ice, and this one is just like, oh, assets go value. It's not as, I don't think it's as complex as one might think. It only get there because high level players need to learn to play with it in the card pool. Still hideously overpowered compared to other tagging options. It is. It sure is. I think one thing that I'd be kind of interested with hard-hitting news, and this is not a thing that we saw in anything yet. What is that card in which you name the runner's hand? This was a spoiler card we had on the channel, and I don't know the name. I'm gonna just write perfect, and I think it gets me there. Complete image. Got it. I feel like this sort of text might actually be relevant to solving hard-hitting news back in the day when it was really toxic. Play only if the runner has 3 or more agenda points. And this, like, to some extent might just kind of, you know, obviously every NBA deck would have Bologna if that was the case, but it incentivizes agendas to be like part of the corp's situation or equation. Even just feeding agendas would be kind of fun, like the mid-season way. And I think stuff like that prevents the turn 1 blowout that people hate, because you can always choose not to steal Bologna, which obviously makes this whole thing interesting. But I feel like any very powerful card could have that text on it if it's that warping as hard-hitting news might be. And it's still an interesting card, obviously way less powerful, but I wouldn't mind it. My bet is NSG near Prince HHN when it's requiring a successful run. HHN does require a successful run. Oh, HHN requires a run? Oh my, do I not know this? Oh yeah, to me it's really weird how certain cards require a successful run, some don't. I feel like this is one of the weird outliers. And then there's the ones that say require a trash card or require access a card. Some of those make a bit more sense to me. We have Public Trail, which is so feels bad to slot. Public Trails are actually quite good in startup, and single tag punishment is very relevant. I think Public Trail is like, it's not directly attached to win condition, but Public Trail is a bit slept on. New Year, by the way. Happy New Year. We missed you last week. Cheers, Dave. Happy New Year to you as well. Love all the new dangerous cards. Yo, more good. Just got par healing today. Yo, Brennan, how is it? We have ours that came in, I think today or yesterday, but I have to go pick it up off of Julien, who ordered it all. Shout outs to Julien for making that big order. We got one of those big photos of everything, which is great. In startup though, well, in startup it's really, really rude, but like if you have good single tag punishment, like self-growth program and like self-growth program, even end the line, like if you can legitimately put runners into bad situations, like there is some non-zero chance that this deck could play Public Trail, like literally not a non-zero chance. And obviously a big thing is there's a lot of no free lunch, but if there are situations where a deck like this or a hostile architecture deck can put runners consistently with 3 cards in hand, yeah, Public Trail is really good. Like you can do economic warfare, Public Trail, end of the line. It's honestly not bad. It's not bad. Single tag punishment's getting slightly better, as one might think. Thank you for the kind explanation. I'm not even sure what I said. It took a long while to learn how brutal the unsuccessful run rider was. Oh yeah, it gets you no matter what. All right, we're playing this. Deer, by the way, is playing on Sunday. Super excited to see what they play, whether they roll up with this deck. This is the We All Hate Shaper deck list, right? PT is especially bad right now because people have NFL to respect Drago. Oh yeah, it's a really bad time to play single tag punishment, but like that's kind of the thing, is like these decks are still playing single tag punishment and are doing well in a meta where like 3 no free lunch. And then actually that was a line that I think was quoted in one of the videos. I think Jeff was talking about how at UK Nationals, and again, I've only watched, I think, the finals of the UK Nationals. So again, I didn't watch the whole day. I'm not too aware of what the meta looks like. But at top tables, Boat was down to 50%. And I think a big part of that is like Boat is really, really not a good line of play into very narrow NBN decks. Like a lot of the top table decks were the NBN Drago decks, right? 3 Drago, no interest in scoring agenda is going to grind the game out decks. And the 419 deck is really, really good in them with 3 no free lunch, Pinhole Threading, Mad Dash. Like it's set up so well for that deck. So like, yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of no free lunch out there and people are still playing the tag stuff. Admittedly, it's not winning as much as top tables where people are super tech for it, but like, I don't know. I think Endurance is still good. It's just really bad into Drago specifically. Can't wait to fail like people with Reaper function. Yo, play it up. It's fun. Successful demonstration just seems so much better than it is. Successful demo is really bad. I loved it back in the day. Hold on. We'll play this in just 1 second. Hey, how's it going, Ellen? It's going well. How's it going with you? How's the new year been? Successful demo is a 5 credit card on very cheap credits if the runner has not made a successful run. This card is the card that stays in your hand the longest throughout the whole game because you never get to play it. It has a very rare window of when it works. It works on turn 1 and turn 2, where a lot of times runners will face check to figure out what ice you have. And after that, you notice in the game of Netrunner, not a lot of unsuccessful runs are made because usually into mid-game runners are set up and they're not making runs that are like wildly kind of awkward. Now this card would get better in the world of things like Caprice Nassau and like Anoetic Void, stuff like that, where you can kind of guarantee more consistently the unsuccessful run. But as soon as you have a Doom remote, a lot of times people obviously pinhole thread it or like kind of respect it. But yeah, unsuccessful runs just don't happen that much. They really don't. Maybe with border control, but then even that, it's not worth playing this on a slot where you might not get it. Especially if you fire border control, it's like very likely next turn you're scoring on an agenda. So it doesn't even work well with that. Yeah, it's weird. It's weird. These like econ cards that are like better than Sure Gamble, it's so, or hedge fund or whatever. It's hard to make that slot good because it's like a really weird slope. You have to make something that's like situational. I love to play in Building a Better World. Oh, gain 6 when they hit your ice wall turn 1. Let's do it. Let's go. Could synergize with BC? Yeah, it could. It could. It's just like a lot of times when you pop a border controller, your next turn, you're busy. You're winning the game, right? You're not gaining 5 credits. But I hear you. I hear you. Maybe you play that 4-2 agenda that lets you reinstall your border controls. Who knows? Home from work, tired and sore. But hey, had my birthday yesterday and have tomorrow off. Happy birthday. How was it? Did you get a nice cake? Did you put on a nice little triangle hat? Happy birthday. I found it was consistent in Egg Infusion. Whitest. That's not bad. The thing is, like, Egg Infusion doesn't necessarily force an unsuccessful run. A lot of times it does, though. Like, people jack out because it's a bad run, but you know how it is. Yo, Cody, how's it going? Happy New Year. Hey, finally catching some of this live. How you doing? I think I watched your game yesterday against Jeff on stream. I got to play this deck, Cody, so that's not bad. It's not good, actually. It's immediately bad, I realize. We're playing, this is a World Tree deck, single World Tree, 3 Aesops, 1 Misdirection. Maybe you want to play 2. This is the deck that, you know, Whiteblade wrote about. It's a real good deck. It's a bit tricky. It has a bit of a volatile early game, but once it gets set up, let me tell you, World Tree, trash your stuff to get other stuff. Now, hard things about this deck. You need to know every single card in it. You do need to know every card because you want to go trash your hardware to go get your other thing. We have endurance. We do have endurance. But you're going to go trash your stuff to get your other stuff. It works really well with Mayfly. We have the Flameout engine, which is cute as well. You got to use this. It's a bit tricky. I'm a bad Shaper player, classically. I'm a very bad Shaper player. I play too aggressively. Now, luckily, World Tree wants us to run every single turn. Does anyone have a tip? You're so screwed, lol. 65 deck Shaper card. Yeah, Andre's coming. Oh, boy. Batten down the hatches. It was rainy, exceptionally rainy, and I had work, but got birthday wishes from my friends and family, and at the end of work, they even got pie, so not bad ultimately. Hey, cheers. Pies can be often better than cakes. They get a bad rap. Happy birthday. I would like to see World Tree as. So World Tree has two problems. Firstly, how consistently can you get it? As can inherently tutor it. And then, I don't know, there's a chance that World Tree as is like just worse than Prognostic Cute Loop. And you know, Masterwork. But it's cool. It is cool. You're running anyways. It's kind of bad too. Like if you see the top two cards of Prognostic and then you make a successful run and then you shuffle anyways, I guess the deck would actually have to be considerably different to like be comparable or like to be something you want to pursue outside of like the basic as stuff. Just because like seeing the top two and then shuffling your deck on successful run, like what are you doing? World Tree Wu Kabonesa. Back in the past, Shaper had card draw. Have a card to draw two cards like security testing. Oh, Patron? Yeah, Patron saw no play. I think there was like maybe one weird niche deck that saw Patron play consistently, but like, and I think it might have been a Faust deck. But yeah, Patron saw no play. And that's a big thing is that Shapers didn't like to make runs for free. They were not the fun run faction. They were the sit back and stim hack out your breakers faction and play control. And so now the fact that we have to run once a turn. What are you doing? Value? We're playing whatever Deers told us to play. All right. 3 pinhole threading. We have no tag tech, barring the misdirection. 3 Nukas. All of these things can become other things. We have Aesop's Pawn Shop engine with Harbinger. We want to pull the Reaver as soon as possible. That's obviously disgusting with the World Tree. And we can produce all these things pretty consistently with Kabonesa. We don't play Rejig. So the only way, excuse me, I'm disgusting. The only way that we can get our cards on the table with Kabonesa is like self-modifying code, which is very expensive. Daredevil actually saw some niche play in some decks, but like it was a big problem with Daredevil is that all Shaper consoles were really bad for a really long time. I like to appreciate since it's also World Tree fodder. Also DS some recommended changes in the comments. Let me read those. I've heard we just talked about, in fact, double oh whoops, I messed that up. Talked about double misdirection, but like I feel with 65 cards, the sky's the limit. You need 4 credit things before Az's ability matters, which seems Oh, because you also eat your Az ability. Okay. Where recommendations? Recommendations. Does anybody know what they are? DZ doesn't work. I tried Onicom. It's fine. Spec work is basically unplayable turn 1. Hippocampic Mechanocytes, Stone Chip and No Free Lunch are good. Morty. We gotta go. We gotta run the net, Morty. What are the recommendations? Dear, I don't know where they are. Let's just play it flat. Let's play it flat, and then once we find out the recommendations because of stream lag, we'll be like, oh yeah, that makes sense. Once we experience the downsides, I'm so nervous to play this. Patreon would be cooler if it was unique. It's just outpaced pretty hard by modern drip draw. I don't know if modern drip draw is really good right now. I feel like card draw is probably not at a premium. Sorry, is at a premium right now. Maybe I just played startup that one time and it felt real bad. But yeah, you got Stone Chip and Shaper, which is like not exactly card draw. It's just on tempo. Like it's the same. It's technically tempo. Actually coming to believe it's neither Nuka nor Earthrise and just shrink your deck a touch and add Stone Chip. It's a bit more flexible. I would believe in that. Stone Chip is like worth the flexibility it gives you. Let alone it's a card you can sell to a pawn shop or anything, but it's a card you can pop to not die to nonsense. I'd believe that. I think that makes sense. Patron for 0 credits, install baby. We got a stew going. It's op. Uh-oh. It's beatable. We don't have no free lunch. Super important card in this matchup. You just put a no free lunch on the table. It's a patron, but instead of cards, it gives you 2 credits. No access. All right, opening hand. We can World Tree this turn. How do you play this? Literally, how do you play this? So we have an opening. We can do Sure Gamble. We have to SMC for World Tree, which is 8 credits. So that's like not a good start. If we want to run, we have to keep our money up, which is bad. So while this deck hand has double Aesops, which is obviously nice, I think we keep this and then we just do Sure Gamble, Pawn Shop, Nuka, draw with Nuka. We don't install the Pawn Shop until we draw with Nuka. And then we see what we're doing, and then we can always pawn one of those. Because that's the issue, is if they have, and again, we don't know which op this is, but if they have 2 hard-hitting news, economic warfare, like we cannot afford to run turn 1. We can keep this. World Tree and cycle Aesops for casts. I just don't want to run. I don't think, Tops, how's it going? I don't think we can run turn 1 into op. Like you saw how Eric respected us, and I don't know if we had a turn 1. No, that's good. That's a pretty slow start. Food. Okay, this is not the list. This is a different list. It is playing Global Food Initiative. This might be a Bridgman list. Yeah, they mold less chance of eating hard in news. Yeah, who knows? I'm going to play it safe. I don't know. I don't want to lose shape. 65 cards, so you lose turn 1. Your loss to card ratio would be pretty bad. Or card, whatever. All right, not good. So I think we install the Pawn Shop, and I don't know if we pawn this. I think we do just go get a cast and risk it next turn. Run turn 1, you have Miss D? Jank, maybe we should have. Yeah, we'll figure it out. First time playing the deck, we'll get it. Or we'll never have money. That's what I'm worried about. I'm worried about us not having money. Now they just drudge work 2 cards. Oof. All right, you want to go see where it is that they have. Do you sell? I think we pawn this. And then we Aesop, install the second Aesops. Yeah, this is like the safety play. Wow. It's a list. Self-modifying code. Overclock HQ. They have no agendas in here. Yeah, we'll sell this Pawn Shop. So we'll pop this. Pay 2. World Tree. 1 of. Access non-agenda. Sell this. Go get just a daily cast, I reckon. We could get a Nuka or a Telework. Telework is like safer. Azief, Steel. Up at 9. Don't want a Diesel last click. I'll just credit. Maybe we survive. But we always need to keep our money up if we're running. And they only have 3 cards in hand. So like economic hard hitting, I don't know. Yeah, they seem to have a really ugly opening, but they have nothing on the table. Like, that can't be it. If it's an acid deck, I mean, like, that's not good. All right, well, what are we going to sell? We can get a Harbinger on the table. I think that's fine to get a Reaver. Like, let's go full greed. Like, when in Rome. So, we'll start by running Archives. No, we have to... What are we pawning? So, we'll pull a Harbinger. Trash the Harbinger to get a Reaver or something. Maybe a Prisha. We can just like play control. I think we have our economy set up. Are we good? I think we're good. Oh, this is hard. Okay, hold on. Pull a Harbinger. Run Archives. Hit Telework first. The order shouldn't matter. Breach server. Threaten Spin Doctor. Oh. That seems fine. The pain is visible? It's not pain, it's thought. I'm having fun. I don't know if you're having fun. I'm having fun. Go HQ. Still gotta get a World Tree somehow. Trash. What are we getting? Okay, options. More. I think we just get the Prisha. It doesn't show me the text of Prisha. Is Prisha installed cards? No. Not installed cards. Anything. Let's go, hedge fund. Okay, and we'll just take money. Yeah, that's a good Wu opening. Seems good. 65 variants. Yeah, now we're just gonna take their board apart slowly. Like, I feel like we have risk control if we survive this turn. They have 15 credits. I'm not scared. All right, so we always want to be pawning. So I think we sell the telework this turn. Hey, dear, how's it going? You're here. Oh, thank you. I need your support. If it's just like emotional support, that'll get me 80% of the way because I don't believe in myself. I have built a persona of being kind of shite at Shaper. So I feel like I want to thread the Spin Doctor before we check this. Harbin before you run, I'm going to telework into a daily casts. It's a hostile architecture. I don't care. I don't have to trash any of this. I'm just doing this for the free run. You just spent 4 credits. I'm going to overclock that spitefully. What you need is a hardware right now to get the endurance? Yeah, you're right. Oh, Cyberdelia. Oh, how much I dislike Cyberdelia. And then we overclock the boat, don't we? Is that the play? How's it going, Danos? So I feel like we want to go raw economy. We like Aesop's. We dropped to 9. We didn't get hard-hitting news the turn before. Like, I'm just going to stop respecting things. I'm just going to stop respecting things. We're beyond the point of respect. We are sailing the seas in a minute. Cyberdelia is fine when you spend a simulchip for it. Glad you're running it. Me too. I need to figure out how this works. Thank you. Yeah, I think at this point we're going to overclock in our endurance for free. Or it's like 1 credit. I forget what the math is. All right, so take clicks. We'll take all our value. We'll punch out this. Okay, so we're just going to overclock our endurance down and like we can get this hand trashed. We don't care. Server 3 for each server. Trash a simulchip. In theory, we could have used the simulchip. Choose a target. You're gone. You have become a boat. You've been promoted. You are like free. Take the damage. Oh, yeah, right. Okay. Fantastic. We kept the card that we wanted to keep. Draw. Draw. Don't die to end the line. You got this. Thank you, Brennan. We're on track. We got the boat. We're winning or something. Oh, that's the problem. Wake up. How many endurances we got up in here? 2. Lovely. So this could have been perceived. I feel like it's a mad deck. I don't know. Maybe this kind of assumes that it might be what's it called? This thing like have Managarm. I feel like this hand is sufferable. If they have a second one, then we feel silly. Yeah, it's fine. We don't want to die. It's okay. You get that one. No big deal. It cost us nothing. It cost us a simulchip. And we forced them to play 2. I don't know whether that is the right play to like force out the second one. A lot of times people just like say the first one wins because their hand is better than that. Mad very likely because they basically force res the Formic carry. Yeah, it was a bad res. You're right. Mad would be biotic. We lose to that. Oh, actually, no, we have a Citadel. We have a Citadel, right? Yeah, we have a 1 Citadel. Okay, so we can... I don't think we have a pawn shop here. You manifested that? Yeah, we kind of did. Okay, so here we can pull the Reaver from our deck. I think that's fine. Yeah, we'll pull the Reaver. So we're going to pull, more accurately, the Harbinger, the last one. We'll run server 1. So I just want to trash their res cards if they're, what's it called, a mad deck. So we'll trash this. We'll get a Reaver. We'll pay 3. It's only 1. So now they only have 2 cards. That's enough to end us. We just draw. Okay. MU warning? Oh, so true. So true. We're at 4 MU. That is actually a problem. A good thing we have 6 Cyberdelias. How many hardware in the list? 13. Okay. A 6th of the deck. Spin Doctor hostile and 1 unseen card. Okay, we have to watch out we don't die as YFs. Sat the Reaver trigger got eaten by the tree that turn. Yeah, it's not on the table when the thing gets trashed. But it will now. Simulchip, that can become a boat. We have to make a successful run though. Like they've officially locked us out, but I feel like this deck wants more remote servers than it has. So I don't know what we do here. This does seem awkward. Oh, Cyberdelia, we're good. We have MU. We can always like Mayfly run. I think we have 1 more Mayfly. Yeah, we have 1 more Mayfly. Okay, what do we want here? I think the Cyberdelia is okay. Flame out Mayfly. I don't think we really want to check that. Like if they score out an Aziev, like whatever. They score out an urban, what's it called? The 1 of 3-2 agenda. Yeah, that's a problem. But can we just face check into this? Like, they're not going to run trash program subroutines. And if they are, we just simulchip run it. Mouseless, we get a tag. That would be kind of bad. We can always trash the Reaver to get a Mayfly if we need to. That seems expensive. Yeah, that was a bit of a bungled turn. I'll be the first to, let's just get some MU down, whatever. I YOLO through Formicary to run archives? Yeah, I think you're right. I think that's fair. I don't think we have to respect this. Yeah, we'll get the Cyber Daily down. It's a Rashida. Okay, that's fine. So we need to run HQ at this point. They filter drawed a bit. We saw Global Food Initiative. I don't think I paid attention if there was an SDS, but there's an SDS. Thank you, Control F. We have to assume Managarms and viruses. Eventually, they're going to have a scoring remote. What's your multi-axis, dear? There's no multi-axis in this deck? A Maker's Eye? What? The only multi-axis is a single Maker's Eye? That can't be right. Oh, a Conduit. Yeah, of course. I'm not used to seeing green programs that do multi-axis. Okay, we're fine. Take clicks. This is going to be lost anyways. We can't get around it. It'll draw us a card, so we'll pawn it to get an extra credit. Create a commission is fine. Oh, chat says conduit. Yeah, it might be conduit. That's a good point. I think we could just Mayfly run HQ. It's our last Mayfly, but MU is scuffed. We don't have the MU for Mayfly. Is Mayfly 2 MU? I'm pretty sure it is. Yeah, it is. Let's just hit HQ. So please should to make room for Wu Mayfly. Yeah. Yeah, we get one good shot there. With 7 credits, what can they res here? I think you're right. We definitely sell the pre-shed at this board state. I think we just run everything though. Like we have clicks left to clear mouseless tags. The net damage doesn't matter. Like they can't res that much ice. Like on average, they're resing for 3 or 4. So we'll get a border control here maybe, which gives them $2 back. That feels bad. Yeah, that's okay. Okay, Fractor is Cleaver. So we can always like Kabonesa for Cleaver and then simulchip it. This is where like the skill cap of the deck gets a bit nonsense. Like, do we just Cleaver? If they clearly want us out of here. Eat the Formicary for a boat? Oh, that would have been really good. Yeah, that's really good. Yeah, why do we not have a boat? But now last click because of the border control. Yeah, whatever, it's still worth. Oh, funny enough here, we could die to Drago into net damage into end of the line. Let's ignore that. Actually, the Cyber Dealy here is less necessary because the boat is 2 MU. So I think we trashed the wrong thing here. We're just going to live with that problem. At least this is technically an economy engine. But let's run here and force the border control. They haven't used their op ability, so it's like mediocre. If there's a second Formicary, that's totally fine. I don't know. I'm like, there's a chance that this is a Reaper function deck. Like this could become a Reaper function, or even what's it called? The Jinteki Trap one. Yeah. Okay. You can get a Sandstone. Yeah, this is what I worried about. It's a Reaper function deck. We ran last click into Reaper function. We might just die. Uh-oh. You're now at risk for Jago? Yeah. We shouldn't have ran maybe last click. Or we need more than 4 cards in hand, but we're not going to have 4 cards in hand. I think we might die here. Unless that's just like tempo damage. Oh, that's an Aziev. The Aziev from hand we lose. Oh, that's why we should keep the Simulchip, because we can stop Aziev from hand. Yeah. Oh, no. We died to Audacity Aziev. Yeah, we should have kept the Simulchip 100%. Shit. Cyber Delia, you lose me the game once again. Shit. GG. The Simon chip. I'm not sure if definitely is right, but direct hindsight. Beans. I think it's a game. Yeah, we were in control, and that's, I think, the situation. Like, we were in such a good spot that all we have to do is not mess up, and we messed up. Like, running into a boarding control last click is kind of a mistake into Modern Ob, I think. And going to low hand size is a mistake, obviously. It's hard to respect all of them, but, like, yeah, a bit clunky. Thanks for the game. All right, tricky, but we can get there. We're definitely can get there. I feel like if they didn't have those narrow outs, they'd have a hard time scoring out. So I feel like we were okay. We just made one very important mistake. Runner. How good was that opening? That opening seemed really good. I wonder how much worse it gets. It's okay. There's a lot of stuff to keep in mind with World Tree Woo. I still mess up constantly. Yeah, reps on this seem really important. And like, it's even in immediate hindsight, we're like, oh, we should have done that. Oh, we should have done that. Oh, we lose to this. And then it happens anyway. So at least we see it coming. It's such a heady deck. Thule. Okay. Real talk. Don't like Thule. I feel like playing against Thule isn't fun. I play playing as Thule is sometimes less fun. We have nothing that deals with core damage. Best of luck, have fun. I think the biggest problem with Thule decks is like they grind on for so long and they don't have a strong win condition usually. It's kind of tricky to play around them though, because they have a lot of traps and it's kind of hard to read the board state with upgrades, but like they just keep giving us negative agendas. T400. So this is the thing, right? When people talk about the strength of Thule, one thing is like losing hand size, so like T400 is nice for that. But then the other thing is just, I'm mulliganing his hand, is like just getting too much core damage that their ontologicals are important. And I'm more worried about ontologicals than actually like going to low hand size. This deck is actually kind of bad into like the distributed tracing and to end the line kill because it doesn't have tag punishment barring the one citadel. You have clot? Yeah, we have clot, that's true. If we get very core damage, it gets a bit tricky. Yeah, I don't know. I dread playing it to Thule. I find it's an absolute slow grind. Like, what is that? I don't know. I feel like we can afford to check. Do we World Tree out turn 1? We'd have to start with telework. I don't think we have the clicks to do it. I don't think we have the clicks to do it. Like, we can install the SMC. Hold on. Yeah, if we install the SMC run, it's 8. Yeah, we can't do it. So I'll just check this. Maybe it's a Nico or something. I don't know. It's a Nico, yeah. That we can't let them have. Generally, one of the biggest things about Thule is that their economy is really, really bad. And barring a bloop, their ice is relatively pretty bad too. So if you can just run and have clicks left and just run everything and trash all their economy, they're forced into a couple turns of clicking for credits, which this deck is much more efficient than. So we're in an okay spot. To World Tree turn 1 and use it to need sure gamble or overclock. Yeah, commissions is just a bit awkward. No, but you could do it. You could do commission first and second, couldn't you? You just probably shouldn't, but you could. Oh, but then you want to use it too, right? That's hard. Okay, so I think we can hit this. Then we want to pull the SMC from our deck, I reckon. We want to keep cards in our hand. Yeah, let's just go. Let's just play it by heart. So we have to decide this before we access the card. Oh, the run's not going to be successful. So we're just going to run archives here. Or at least spin Dr. Pop. So we're not going to get a successful run. They're allowing us to have a successful run. I feel like that might be a mistake, but admittedly, they don't want to use their spin doctor. So we'll trash this. What do you go for early? Do you go for the casts or do you go for like a Nuka to set up? This is actually a very interesting choice. I'm surprised to some extent the deck doesn't have a Proco. Like just a singleton Proco seems good enough. And by thinking, I mean waiting for Deer to tell me. Ace ups first? Okay. Will we trash that? I feel like, yeah. And then we can recover. We have low hand size here. We can't get distributed tracing, but we could die to public trail. If they play, we could like in some world, hedge fund public trail and a line. Reaver second. And Vire testing if I were running the newer version. Really? Whoa, that's really cool. Okay, I don't know what this is. I did not expect there to be this many assets. One of these is probably a Nightmare Archive, which like, okay, I guess. I would get cast here, but I'm playing a version without Ace Ups or Reaver. I wouldn't get the card that's not in my deck. I hear you. All right, I feel like this kind of looks like an acid list. Like I kind of want to pull the Precia. I feel like we're just going to die to a snare here. Yeah, I'm playing with Proco. I think a Proco is a 1-up, like seems reasonable in this deck, but like it's so easy to put every 1-up in this deck. Okay, don't die to snare. We'll draw once. Okay. So the next thing we want to get up is an endurance. We want to get a Reaver up next, actually, more accurately. So here I think we Kabonesa for Harbinger. We need to make a run. Let's check the middle. 2 for 2. Not going to make a successful run here. Last click, we hit a snare. Rip? Nah, it's fine. But just hit a snare here. If we were safe, we'd run archives. But I have no respect. I want to find something else. We'll get a Reaver. The Jupstad. They can't afford to score at the 2-1, so we're going to let that happen. Again, the economy that this deck needs to use a Jupstad is insurmountable. Because it's a minimum 6 credits to score out the 2-1, the Elevagao, on top of the Jupstad. So, like, it's fine. We'll probably have to trash it at some point. And it's not like it gets cheaper. We can't appreciate it because it's an upgrade. But this is the only, like, unfair card the deck has besides Hendrik. Oh, do it up. Yeah, of course. I think there's a Nico or Maryland in server 3, which actually gives them enough money to jupe status. Maybe we have enough money now that we're set up that we could afford to trash the jupe stat here. Maybe it's worth respecting it to that extent. Oh, I have to do that too. Okay, we'll see. Because we're getting 3 cards and credit. Oh, it's a Nico. Okay, so that we definitely trash. So now they do have jupe stat credits. Immediately if they do it, it's all their money to do 1 core. Oh, we're not respecting running last click. I totally forgot about the Thule ability. That's fine. Yeah, of course. Yeah, no worries. This is a card you generally need ice up. Hey, Shemendrix, how's it going? Good evening. How you doing? Yeah, you generally need to ice this thing up. Because it is definitely very profitable. Now, I'm assuming, generally the best guess is, I don't know whether people have got tired of the shininess of Parhelion, whether they're on, what's it called or not, the harmonics. I do think Bloop is a really hard card for most decks to deal with, albeit the face check on it doesn't always connect. I do think Bloop is pretty good. Running last click is generally never a good idea. There's some matchups that's worse than others. This is not a good one. Credit. Yeah, those are the sort of turns that I'm expecting. But it seems to me like they're going to fast advance and turn to the jupe set next turn. So either we can force the ice res, which I think we're going to do. It's just we don't have a trigger for our engine. So take clicks, we'll sell this, 3 cards and credit. So we can install the Nuka, use the Nuka. I think we want to run first click though, regardless, because of Fairchild 3. So I think we're going to lose our World Tree this turn. Like, I'm not very sure what we could do. We could Mayfly and run it. We don't have MU for that. Yeah, we need hardware. Like, respecting Fairchild 3 is kind of important. It's unbeatable. We lost a game. We won a game against it. So it is the World Tree deck, though. That's for sure. Ugh, we're losing so much value by running first click here. I'm going to respect. It might just be like a pulse or echo or something. It can't be a bloop. Will Prisha take down the Nico? I don't think we need to pull the Prisha this turn. We'll lose it. Yeah, it's a pulse. That's fine. So we didn't have to run this first click. It fires. We watch Andre kill Whiteblade on it. Yeah, we got him good. So here we lose a click and a credit. They're on 5 credits. Like, we did enough damage here that yeah, we can trash that. Can we trash this and this? Yes, we can. Oh, or we can end the run here. I think we're happy end the run here. Yeah, we're happy ending the run. Okay, so now we can Kabonesa Wu out for a Harbinger and then run the Nico. And then we can pull the Prisha out. I don't think it's our most important thing, but we can do it. Not the Prisha, no. We pull out a Harbinger to get the Prisha, right? Yeah, that's how it works. No, just kill it. I don't know. On 5 credits, I feel like we can just go back. Amazing, best deck ever. So we'll sell this. The Prisha doesn't seem that important. If we get the, what's it called? The Buzzsaw, we're actually in a really good spot. We break this for 1. I think that might actually be better. It's just our MU is getting a bit gunked up. The Prisha here saves us 2 credits, and we're not gonna get that much more value out of it. You have to spend clicks to run again anyways. No, if we break it. Let's just break it. I'm just feel probably pretty bad about spending all our MU. Yeah, this might be wrong. I don't think you want to force breakers this soon. We need to draw into hardware. So I think next turn, like we pull the last Harbinger, takes up no MU. And then we can like Nuka draw into something. We can run this if they have more than again, 6 credits is the break point where they can threaten a core damage. Like, we break this for 1. The worst case now is that we can't smash centrals because we get blooped. So we need a piece of hardware to get our endurance down. So we'll probably open with Nuka. They're 1.5 spin doctors down. They shuffled the spin back. So imagining their hand now has 1 agenda. Again, you can play control with them. They're a pretty slow deck. Okay, now this could be bloop, which is a bit scary, but again, they have no credits, so whatever. Okay, simul chip. Okay, that can be a boat. We can work with that. In fact, that will immediately become a boat. Yeah, that will become a boat. We install a simul chip. We overclock the Nightmare Archives. Breach server. Playing this in person is probably tedious. The amount of shuffling and searching. Okay. MU is fine. Whoa, double retribution. That's really good to see those two go after you install your boat. But that means they're definitely on distributed tracing, which there's no real way to play around. We can install this and draw 3, and then we have something to pawn next turn, or keep around if we want to, what's it called it? World Tree it, but I don't think we need to. We don't get a counter on this? Wait, why don't we get a counter on this? Because it's installed after the run's considered successful? I'm kind of surprised by that. Huh, weird. I'm not sure the value of draw here. I'm going to go sell this because it is a card and 3 credits, and that seems good enough. All right, this is good. Yes, the same starts turn trigger, so it's not there when the run is considered successful. So, okay. Same reason you can't use an asset install at start of turn. Yeah, that tracks. All right, this seems good. Hand size is important enough in this matchup sometimes, sort of. We want to check what this is. We might just actually be able to install the Prisha and check it. Oh wait, we don't have a trigger. I think we can Kabonesa for something. We have no resources in our hand. I think we just Kabonesa for a Harbinger. But then we're getting another program. Hold on, maybe you don't do that. Do we just not get World Tree value this turn? What else do we need? Like, we're kind of set up. As weird as that sounds, this deck is really MU hungry. But like, I want resource. Let's go. We're wasting our World Tree this turn. We might just get rid of the Prisha. I just don't know what program we want. You can Cabo and then get the Conduit. I don't feel like we're in a rush to close the game out. It's just another Spin Doctor. Okay, that's 2 down. And this Spin Doctor is only for like the retributions, I reckon. Oh, they're going for economy. That kind of tracks too. Hedge Fund and Hakarl. Whoa. Not the card that sinks the ship. Okay, if we look at the hardware. Oh, whoops, sorry about that. If we look at the hardware, what can we get that actually is worth something on this board state? Not too much. Like, it's just resources. So I think we run for the endurance. At that point, we might as well just get the, what program are we getting from our deck? It's weird that we can just look for programs this way. I don't know what we get. I think we just get a misdirection in our deck so we can pawn it. Yeah, I think we just thin our deck. So we'll get a Harbinger. We'll run Archives. This is more for the bow trigger. It technically thins our deck. It costs us not much. World Tree, sell this, get the misdirection, which we won't need in this matchup. Get the boat counter. And now the boat counter, we can run server 5. Oh, we could actually pull the Clot, which would have been fine. Oh, we should have pulled the Clot. In hindsight, yeah, the Clot would have been sick. Because then we don't take the core damage here. That being said, if they spend all that money scoring out like 6 credits to score out an agenda, that does 1 point for them and a core damage, I think we're totally fine with that, considering the state of the Thule economy. All right. They solved the economy. The most credits the Thule deck has ever had, and now we're at the whims of big deal. Okay, we'll run server 5. I sub HQ. All right, I do think at some point we need a transition here. I'm gonna pawn shop. I'm gonna keep the misdirection. It's worth keeping the misdirection because it's actually like a program, so it interacts with simul chip and World Tree better than this does. So what can we sell? I think we need to get our Cyberdelius down for free. All right, show us the bloop. We can break every ice in the game with endurance. Claw to the other Harbinger if you're just selling it anyways. Yeah, the Harbinger, the Claw was probably a fair bit better. It's a wave. Okay, so they can search for an ice. Again, we break the server for 2 credits. We can't use the Prisha. We're probably going to end up selling the Prisha. 3 credits in the card is like very comparable to what this will give us throughout the game. They got the bloop. Okay. Break for 1. We also have Cleaver, which is really good into the one barrier we're expecting the list to play, let alone it is on Hakaro. All right, this is a nice slow matchup, which should give us like the time to do what we want to do with the deck. Which is install all the Cyberdelias. 1 to break. T400 is good in this matchup. Might want to keep it. We have another in hand. I'm not expecting to take too much core damage, and I'm more worried about not the hand size, but the amount of core damage for Ontological. So I don't know, mixed bag. We'll get a Cyberdelia. I guess we'll trash that. They have a lot of credits. I think they are going to hold a distributed tracing in hand, though. That's what I'm kind of worried about, too. All right, next turn we'll start selling stuff. This is a really ugly hand. Like, what do you do with this? What do you do with this hand? I don't know. Maybe we just put the conduit squeeze on and start going. I'm just worried about distributed tracing. They definitely have it. Turn things into Flameout. Flameout's only good if we need the Mayfly engine, and we don't. Or like if we're using SMC, which we're not really needing to. But Flameout's like really awkward. And again, we have like the scoring remote is absolutely cornered. It costs us 1 credit to run this. Now with the bloop, then it gets annoying. We have an Echelon, right? Echelon, yeah. Each installed Icebreaker, so we don't have that many Icebreakers. So that's bloop into an agenda. Now we can pull the Echelon. We can pull its Turbine. I think we're selling one of these cards. And then we can always like pay through the bloop. If they de-res this, like it's kind of expensive still. So I'm going to sell the Misdirection, 3 cards in a card. That's a Clot. Not very good. So we run Archives, we can get the Echelon down, and we can just run Server 5. Pretty sure it's only assets. Yeah, it's only assets. We can maybe let them have 1 agenda, right? Endurance, World Tree, we'll trash this to get an Echelon. It's 2 strength. Oh, it bloops really bad. That probably wasn't worth it. What are we doing here? Now we don't have Cleaver. Oh man, this is a mess. Install a Turbine. Yeah, eventually we will. That makes it a bit better. It's still very expensive. Like we just need to install more programs. Like the Turbine only helps so much. Like it's still 6 credits to break a bloop, even with the Turbine. 3 credits once we're fully set up. With Precious it's different. So I think we're just gonna set up a Greed engine. I don't know what we're drawing it to, but like none of this is economy. We probably should have pulled a Harbinger. Oh no, we have no more. This is ugly. I don't know what we're doing here. I do not know what we're doing here. Mayfly Blue Echelon. Yeah, I know. Is it worth installing it? It clogged our MU. Sell the SMC. Yeah. Next turn it's worth it. That's a click for 3 credits on a card. And this also threatens Clot. They don't know we have it in hand, but if they try to jupe stud, we can like pull a Clot. Sell the T400 and go ham on R&D with Conduit. Eventually. We just don't have the economy to sustain that. Yeah, but the Mayflies will keep around as batteries for Echelon and Unity. We'll never need to install Unity. Never mind. Oof. But then you just sell it? The Mayfly? Yeah, we will. So we need more programs. That's the thing is like, I don't know. There's nothing to crack the SMC for, not that we'd want to, but like I'm running out of things to sell. We haven't drawn to our resources. Our resources are a bit of the value here, like Daily Cast, Nuka, other Beth would be nice. Citadel was sellable. We would start selling the flameouts, I guess. I don't know. This seems awkward. Like I don't know what to do here. Elwyn isn't really pushing anything here. Again, it's turn 9. We haven't really made any runs on centrals, but 0 points, kind of normal. Seems like a Hendrick. Oh, Trap. Server 7, no idea. Nightmare Archive. It's an easy server to run. I'm going to sell this. I can't deny 3 credits in a card. Boat. Hello. I don't know what we're doing. We got to start running. I think we got to put pressure on centrals. We just need more programs. Okay. We'll install this. We'll run server 7. What will it get us? World Tree for Conduit and R&D runs probably free. Yeah, maybe. I think you might be right that we can just focus on that. Yeah, we got like triple Cyber Dealer. Maybe one run a turn is free. That's what I found with the list too. I'm usually wanting more resources. If you draw a few early, the list things. Yeah, this feels really awkward, I'll be honest. Like, this probably seems really intimidating from the other side of the table, but I don't know. Boat's really good. Okay, so we'll do endurance, whatever. World Treat, trash this, get a conduit. Distribute tracing, that's what I'm scared of. Place one virus counter. Okay. You have to run early with conduits against Thule. I'm just worried that they're gonna like... We need more resources. We'll run one more. Oh, wait, hold on. We'll run one more. They might score something out here. I think that's a Nico. Okay, they finally res the Echo. We can't break that, so that's... Oh, no, we can boat it. We actually get paid for that. Even if they hit you with a distributor, what's the payoff if you have 5 cards in hand? Retribution or endurance, or which messes up. Oh, our MU's okay. Ontologic. Okay, stealing one of those is sick. Because that is the real threat of the deck. And one of them are down. I was listening but not able to comment, but I play the deck very differently. I would have world treated Aesop several turns ago. Oh, sick. Dear, I love that because I think that makes a lot of sense because we're struggling to get value from this. I think just making this into a Nuka and then drawing through a deck seems incredibly like it's gonna solve our issues. Yeah, huge. I like that. If you R&D lock them, you're golden. Yeah. Yeah, it's gonna be okay. As soon as we steal 2 ontologicals, like we can start taking some amount of core damage. Again, against Cleaver, this is credit positive. With Boat, we can get through this. There's a distributed tracing, so we have a tag. Turbine Cleaver is the last of the engine. Yeah. Well, we also need card draw and economy. But yeah, that's our last breaker. All right, we got a tag. No reaction. Oh, just tempo end the line. That's fine. Do we have a tag? Why doesn't it say we have a tag? They're tilting? I think they're just going for what they have access to here. Yeah, they've been sitting on that, that's for sure. Why doesn't it say we have a tag? Oh, it removed the tag. Thank you. Yeah, Burden, huge. All right, so we don't want to die a snare. I think there might be a snare in the list considering this install, so we're going to just draw up and play slow. Again, play slow is kind of the name of the game against Thule. Just play slow. Just play slow. Okay, we can laundry archives. That means we can sell the pawn shop. We don't want to end with less than 4 cards, so if we steal an agenda, we could lose. So I'm just going to do nothing. I'm just going to run archives. I'm not going to dirty laundry. Again, we get a bow trigger here. And we can sell the pawn shop for a Nuka. Endurance. Get rid of this. We draw a card too, of course. That's sick. So do we need economy? No, I think we just need card draw. Telework is like honestly totally reasonable here. Citadel just kind of buys us a win condition against their shtick. Beth is like fine. Daily cast is probably telework. We have clicks. Ella Vigao. Uh-oh. Okay. Whoops. We broke focus. We said we'd play slow and we didn't. Now at least we survive against end of line distribute tracing. As we started doing influence count, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So there can't be 2 more end of lines. There might be 1 more. It's kind of ugly to get this down and not click it. I'll be the first to say that. And maybe Daily Cash is actually very comparable to this if we're selling it immediately because it's clickless 2 credits instead of click for 3. Monster Energy Andre says play slow. Yeah. Top of R&D is all fresh. It has been for a minute. So I think we'll hit this. Get something else down. Cast a 3 credit discount. Yeah, free casts is really good. Ice up archives. That's surprising. I don't know what that does. I don't know what server 7 is. I think there are snares around. All right, let's just run R&D with conduit. Excuse me. We can afford to boat through this. Eventually we'll get a cleaver down, but like eventually. Once it gets 3 subroutines, then it actually starts mattering for both endurance and cleaver. So the less we run everything else, the more we have a direct win condition here. Breach server, yeah, we'll do conduit, endurance, world tree. We'll get, I think a daily cast is good enough. Install SMC first. I don't think we need to. Drafter, Jupstead. That's fine. Hakarl. Okay. Yeah, I don't think we need the SMC. We have clicks left here. SMC gets us, I'm going to install that to respect Clot. No, Clot's in the bin. We need a simul chip. A new Coherent actually would have been reasonable as well. So we have 4 hand size here. We've lost both of our T200s, T400s. So our hand size is going to be only going down from here. We can run one more. We'll only see one new card. No, we want a cleaver. Yeah, I guess next turn we'll get a cleaver. If that's the case, we could have put on the flame out, whatever. Cards in hand. Yeah, SMC for cleaver next turn, but by SMC for cleaver, I don't know if we pay for it. I think we might just world tree it. They have a Hakarl coming up. It's okay. Daily cast instead of credit click. I want to keep cards in hand. They're purging. That's fine. Again, we just build up our cleaver every turn. Okay, I'm going to world tree the SMC into a cleaver. We can spend 2 bow counters on this because, again, this is profitable. We don't have to run with the conduit here. It doesn't change anything. The button on the conduit doesn't matter, I mean. And we know this is a Jupstead, which for them is a pretty bad draw, considering, again, their economy. This draws a card too, so we'll do Endurance, World Tree. We'll trash this for a cleaver. Again, we need simul chips. We've seen 1 so far. There's 2 more in the list and 27 cards. That's okay. Place 1 virus counter and conduit. Yeah. Then we can go back, just build this up. They can't just continue purging. Again, this is credit positive. We can run this twice for free. Got them clicking for cards and purging. This might go 2 hours. It's kind of the Thule problem, right? Like a lot of the Thule decks don't have the economy and don't have a proactive game plan, so they're just hoping that you beef it into something. And they have some rude plays, but like most of them get beaten by a single no free lunch. I forgot to use the conduit there. I'll admit that one's on me. No secret there. But next turn, we'll see 2 new cards. We could have considered trashing their Jupstead if we want to just maximize how many cards we're seeing, but that's like a really bad draw for them here. We haven't seen a single Nightmare Archive though, so like you think we're on 3 agenda points, we're actually on 1 agenda point. And they're going to stock buyback and get like 300 cards. Maybe they'll purge again. They might. It's a very bad play. Like, you never want to purge when the virus counters can be gotten cheaply. Like, it just wastes your time, not ours. We actually might consider checking this. I think there's a big chance that's a Hendrik. Could we get a turbine down? I don't actually know if we need to check this. They can score a 1 agenda on a Jupstead and it doesn't really matter. If we hit a snare, things get interesting. Oh, nice try, Andre. You almost hit the wrong button. Yeah, but purging while centrals are open to some extent. Well, it's a bit different with conduit, but like you don't do that. You can woo, then get a turbine. Yeah, we could. We could have got a turbine and ran this. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I feel like we might just tunnel this. Again, this is credit positive. We have reached Shaper Doom engine. We can still lose to some amount of traps. We gotta be humble. Oh, there's a spin doctor on the table. So they're drawing unknown cards because we goofed it last turn. That's really funny. Endurance, conduit, world tree. We'll trash the younger one or the older one, I guess. Excuse me. I'm gonna just get a Citadel to be safe. Like I feel like we can just afford to be safe with the way things are going. Magnet, Bloop, subs, 1 virus counter. Well, I'm going back. In fact, we probably should run HQ. Oh, we don't have a killer. Oh, we have a boat. But yeah, we should probably pull a killer. We know where 2 bloops are, so this is a bit safe. We know where 2 bloops and a drafter are. This is not the most dangerous run. You have a killer? Oh yeah, sick. Never mind. I was thinking about the turbine. Yeah, we have a killer. Never mind. We're set. We're set. All right, another echo. That doesn't change the breaking math. Another line was to run the spin doctor and run back for the shuffle. I just don't want to do that last click. Distributed tracing. Okay. We have no HQ pressure in this deck, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, I think we just run this. We should get the flame out down at some point. If we run this, they draw unknown cards. So I'm going to leave that playful next turn. Well, I'll leave them the Spin Doctor, and then the following turn we'll go. I'm just going to run R&D and see the top card. Admittedly, they could shuffle to give us a core damage. It's like a pretty next level play. Probably ontological in their mode server. Yeah, that's fine. They can spend 7 to do another core damage and score the second ontological. I don't think that matters. But yeah, here, if we run R&D without the conduit, we get a conduit charge. That's kind of nice. I'm going to run last click. Now, they have a play here where they can shuffle with the Spin Doctor to feed us an agenda. Like, that's a line that they have, which is kind of interesting. But here, we're accessing the top card of the deck for 1 credit to get a conduit counter. And because we didn't run with conduit, we're only going to see the top card of the deck, which is a magnet. So if they really wanted to goof us up in a really kind of twisted way, yeah, they can do this. The hell of a goes. It's always the hell of a goes. So here they can distribute a tracing, but we're safe to end the line, which is really funny. The fact that they would shuffle and show us an agenda is pretty unlikely. I wonder if they thought we were conduit running last click, so they just wanted to give us more cards. All right. No, we will not die. That's why we install this. So we lose our hand, but they also lost all their money. So that's why we played that card. So we're down, what? 2 distributed tracings, 2 end of lines. So 4, 8. They don't have enough influence for another one, I don't think. 9. They do have, they're on 1 credit now, right? Like, they can't, is there anything that hurts us? Nothing. Like, we can just hit R&D. We'll pull a Nuka, yeah. We'll just go see a lot of cards on R&D. They can't get a snare credits. Yeah, I think they're out of ways to hurt us, barring Spin Doctors. No, they're all out. So I don't think they can hurt us anymore. Besides distributed tracing into like sinking a boat, which like the boat is kind of just a cherry on the top here. Steal 4 agendas, take a core. Oh, funny enough, yeah. But we probably win if we steal 4 agendas. But you're right. Actually, we do die to core damage. No, because we'll draw. We'll draw off the Reaver. Never mind. We're fine. We're fine. We're fine. World Tree. Trash this. We get a Nuka. We just get some card draw. Oh, we have a Nuka. Can't have too many Nukas. Maryland, they can draw that. Vitruvius will pay. Hypoxia, it's a card you can play. Maryland, we could trash these. Oh, there we go. We'll suffer core damage. Woo, good game. Ontologicals are 2/2s. Yeah, no, it's true. They are 2/2s. That gets a bit scary, but we're locking the top of R&D, so they need to have them all on HQ. Like, they're not breaking lock with 3 Spin Doctors down, unless they have sprint. Hey, the Thule Classic, huh? No money means no fun. That's kind of the Thule issue. I feel like the money just isn't there. Like, Jupstad, can they afford to res it? We got lucky enough that we didn't find, admittedly, we could have eaten 1 Nightmare Archive. You shot my campaigns and I never saw Maryland. Yeah, you definitely need to ice up Nikos. They are way too valuable. Hand of agendas as well. Wow. Yeah. Yeah, if you can steal one of these early, like, you can actually start taking on some core damage. And again, for this sort of list, which is all in distributed tracing, like, you know, you play 1 copy of No Free Lunch, 2 copies of No Free Lunch, and you're in a good spot. Hey, cheers. You too. This deck is, like, really mentally taxing. This is way worse than Ob. If you want to, like, have a deck that burns out in a tournament on round 6 and lunch is late, I don't think this is it. This is way harder than Op. Op like shows you 3 cards, and sometimes it just triggers automatically. Like, you don't make decisions. You do. You know what I mean? Hope the chat learned a lot. Yeah, L1, good game. I'm so pessimistic about Thule. It's like really hard for not to poison every interaction I have with Thule. I feel like that deck just doesn't have money. I feel like so often that deck, you just play Sports Metal and it's a better Thule deck. Whatever, I deserve this. Best of luck. Have fun. Here we go again into the deep sea. Hive Max or Wu Tree, which is more mind taxing for you? Hive Mind Max is more taxing to me because it plays very unconventionally. Like, the lines for Max are actually, I think, a fair bit different than regular Anarch. Well, this just plays like a Shaper deck that has a good card in it. Right, like, this inherently is not doing anything that different. It just has a bigger toolbox, but the Max deck actually genuinely plays different, and it forces you to value your cards in a very different way. I think this is quite different. Okay, opening hand. We have no economy. Ugly. We might get there. Again, the early game is a bit, the couple 3-4 turns here are a bit, they mulled too though. They can be a bit ugly. Yeah, man, Thule again. Yeah, watching you Sangren last night, playing into PE like 2 times in a row. Good stuff. All right, don't run last click. Diesel. Okay. We can set up nice and slow. Would love a telework. Turn 1 Reaver's nice. Yeah, it's not bad. It ain't bad. I don't know what we do with it. Like, we have no economy here besides daily casts. So do we just do like daily cast, set up a Harbinger, and then we can world tree that next turn? But like, we're going to be on 4 credits or 5 credits after we click for a credit. Like, that can't be it. Like, this is good. It fires on either turn, trash stuff. But like, we're 1 overclock short, right? Before getting the tree down. Let alone more money for the Reaver. Okay, we have to make sure that we're contesting Nikos and Marylands and stuff like that, because so much of the economy of this deck is tied up into that stuff. So we want to make sure we can face check into ice at least. We don't have to go full greed, although admittedly we probably can. That's again why I'm also kind of scared of like sports metal. They can go really fast. Like, sure, you have Clot, but you have 3 Simul chips, and it's a bit harder to get those things tutored consistently because you need to like find the world tree, then find a program that you can trade for, and then find a hardware you can trade for a Simul chip, and then have something to sell to the Simul chip to get the Clot. Like, that kind of seems a bit difficult too. Maybe I'm wrong about that. And it's a sort of list too where you can like just play more copies of certain tech cards, maybe like Misdirection and Prisha more consistently, but yeah. Does this version have Earthrise in it? We haven't drawn one. No, it's not. Okay, cool. Clicking for credits here to set up the world tree better than drawing in a 65? I don't know, Thanos, right? It's like really kind of hard to tell. Because the quality of a card draw on any board state is like, has such higher variance than any other deck for obvious reasons. But like, it's such a big chance we just draw into like, you know, I was going to say Sarbedelia, not realizing we had 2, but you know what I mean? Like drawing into any of the pieces that are okay, but can be sold. Red level clearance. Clickless install? Wild. Hedge fund. 12 credits. Clickless install is rare. Okay. Drawing into economy, we don't have it. We just click for credits here. Like, what are we doing? This is really ugly. We'll have it next turn. And then that misdirection is going to be value all the way to the bank. I'm kidding. We're gonna have to get that daily cast to be a pawn shop. We're getting there. And archives may be sufficiently poisoned. Do you think the Harmonic Ice works well out of sports? Not better than what sports has access to. I don't think so. I think if you're grinding people into a remote server, Bloop is like actually does pretty well. Wave is okay. I think Wave works well with like Anoetic in theory. I'm not too excited about the other stuff. Definitely not the barrier. The other Code Gate Pulse I think is actually kind of neat for a rush deck. But I'm pretty sure the Sports Metal Ice is just really, really good, and it's not like situational. Like a lot of the ice, the Harmonic Ice is a bit situational, right? Like you need to get this up and then get this up. You also have a lot of card draw, so like Wave is not as important. Pulse and BC is fine with border control. I've never seen it, but yeah, it seems okay. Okay, so this can be scary. This can be a Hendrick or something. I think we're just going to let it rip, though. We're just going to set up. Run archives. Use this. Be financially ruined. Breach server. I think we sell this for a pawn shop. There's nothing else that's credit positive. We could sell it for a telework. Yeah, that's probably a bit more aggressive, as wrong as that sounds. Stock buyback. Okay, so a lot of small agendas. Nightmare fuel. Something like that. I think icing archives would make it hard for us instead of remote. Well, they need to score out. But yeah, if they ice up everything, we're in an awkward spot. And merely though, a bunch of Harmonics ice does not end the run. Like the Bloop is useless, so there's a big chance one of these ice we can get through, but like you can tank a wave. Oh, there you go. Right, so it's gonna be awkward. This can be awkward. We can always just pull a Mayfly though and go. But like we can't get blooped. Silver linings. That's the Hendrix into some nonsense. They score an ontological here, we're happy. If they score an off-world, not happy. Ace-up's gonna get Reaver draw online. I think that's this turn's play. The last turn, I just wanted money on the table. We get wrecked by, what's it called? Fairchild 3. Like, you see how important Fairchild 3 is compared to respecting harmonics? Not that you can't run both. No further action. World Tree. Pawn. What? Weird. Managarm has to be here. It's Managarm time. Okay. So we're gonna get down to the T400. I don't know what this is. I can't tell what this is. Ideally, it's not credit positive for them. If it's an off-world, that's bad. If it's an ontological, sick. If it's an ontological on top of a Jupstad, sick. It is. Sick. 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 That's one of their threatening cards. And they res their most expensive card in their deck. And we are only getting more and more powerful. I'm going to sell the misdirection. It gives us MU. Okay. So here, what are we getting on the table? I think we are set up to use Ace-ups pretty well. So we can always pull a Mayfly and run server 1. This is probably Hendrik. My deck is doing what I want it to do. What does Hendrik do? Hendrik. What's Hendrik's text? What's the text on Hendrik? We lose our whole turn, right? Yeah, and he's 2 to trash. Okay, so we need 6 credits to get this down. Because they can threaten to score out on top of the Jupstad. This costs us 1 if it's a pulse. We can also just like pinhole threading that. That would actually be reasonable. We can pinhole threading HQ. I think that's fine. We don't have to deal with the Hendrik. And then the Managarms that they're definitely playing also won't work. A bit risky. Against an upgrade, Sapricia doesn't do what we want it to do. Let's go. No further action. Breach server. Oh, what are we getting with World Tree? I totally forgot. Wait, what are we? Just because we can doesn't mean we should. What are we getting? Endurance? No. God, it's all about the resources. What does Echelon become? There's nothing credit positive here. There's no. I got nothing. I don't know. I don't know why we did that. And now it's gonna get removed from game. We might as well have used it. Absolute trash tier Netrunner. What are we doing? All right, this is gonna get RFG. That was a mistake. Breaker, Breaker was free. We could have just done Breaker. Even just Conduit for 1. I don't know. I don't know. That was rubbish. Teleworker's there too. That's a really ugly play. Okay, we just lost to Harbinger. Don't talk about that. Don't worry about that. Ooh. Yeah, I'm so used to being always something good to get. And in some board states, I don't know if we need to. Maybe just pulling cards from our deck and getting them on the table is good. The next big hurdle we have is to get the endurance down, which, like, we're kind of getting there. We need the overclock, probably. We're not running into the depths. I wonder why. Like, that's probably playable. I reckon you have to make some decisions here. And it's not amazing in your opening hand. We're not like an endurance turn 1 deck, so maybe that makes sense. It does what World Tree does. All right, there are 4 credits. So assuming this is a Hendrik or a Managarm. There's the Kabonesa Wu drawback that's so often meaningful. Sanjay, how's it going? Yeah, but we have no reason to pull that. It was meaningful, but that's because we made a mistake. How's it going? We're expecting Harmonic. Buzz, probably good. Buzz is probably good. I don't think we need to get it right now. We should have got it there instead of removing it from the game. That's for sure. But it's not the first card I'd rush out. We're a bit weak to like road a turret, but we're not expecting that. Order doesn't matter there. All right, we can do telework. We can hit telework. We can run HQ with a click left. There's no ice that just does core damage, right? Oh, actually, no. They could hit us here with a, what's it called? A Hakarl. I wonder if they consider Hakarling us. They'd have to de-res something, though, so it's not that bad. We just click through the 1. They had another res Hakar. If they just go down to 1 credit to res a Hakarl here and we click through the core damage, yeah, that's sick. Maybe they can't res. Oh, it's a shite. Okay, remember when we were respecting that a while ago? I guess we're taking a core damage. Ugh. Oh man, this is so messy. Getting so used to not respecting harmonics that this happens. We have no way of dealing with that. That'll fire. Luckily, we can trash this. It's the same as 3 credits, except we draw a card. Oh no, because we already did something. I like this. And let's see if they do a core damage. It puts us to 2 core damage, which means ontological is pretty scary. Yeah, they did. Oh, we lost our simul chip. Feels bad. They have no credits. Breach server. Get rid of this. I guess a daily cast. It's a Hagen. Okay. We are on 4 hand size still. Thank you, T400. And I don't know what we're doing here. Drawing seems a bit poor. They don't have the credits to threaten out the ontologicals. If we steal 1 ontological, we're doing okay. Yeah, imagine we had the cleaver there. We'd actually have a choice. Or sorry, yeah, the cleaver. We'd have a choice. It'd be expensive, but like comparably expensive to that. Yeah, we made some really bad plays. They're haunting us. Like we could have had a free cleaver on the table, but instead we spent a click to do nothing and then lost a pawn chop down the line. We probably should have treated Aesop so we have 1 in hand. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, maybe. Do you want to trash the Aesop so you can drop the second one? That's also reasonable. That's better than 3 credits. I think you're right about that too. Hendrik doesn't have to be rezzed, right? Oh yeah, okay. Well, let's focus. Let's play this a bit cleaner. Okay, Hendrik costs nothing to res, but doesn't really need to be rezzed. They have 1 credit. So worst case here is Rashida. We have 1 more Harbinger we should pull and then hit R&D, and maybe we can just like conduit lock and hope. Costs 2 to fire though? Oh, it does cost 2 to fire. Yeah, let's just run it. You're right. That's a good point. Could be a spin doctor. Okay, take clicks. Daily cast. Do we pawn the daily cast? I don't think we're excited to do that. I think we just want to put other stuff on the table that we're excited to pawn. So here I'm going to pull a Harbinger. The Harbinger can become a Cleaver, which will trigger our Reaver, which is probably just good enough. Oh no, Aprisha is just good enough. Not that we're going to use it. Okay, that's bad. Yeah, maybe we shouldn't do that. Okay, boat in hand. That's an expensive place to have it. He will get the Harbinger. It says Giardano Memorial Field. Anyone see the arms dealer in the wild? Maybe some bot file combo? I know Jeff was playing with it yesterday. If you're thinking about Pula. Not very good. It seems way slow. That's a Managarm. I guess we'll deal with that one now. Okay, so here we have a conduit lock coming up if we really wanted to. We have to drop 1 card here. We have an engine set up for the next couple turns, but this is getting a bit too expensive for what we want to do. We can get more hand size. Man, we're just clicking for credits. This feels really rough. And then next turn, we can either, like if we sell the Harbinger, we do not have the ability to pull a conduit. But like we might be able to conduit lock them. Getting the claw on the table would be good. This, I don't know. I'm definitely not playing this well, but this doesn't feel great. You saying they used to pull Botchus and something else? Yeah. He's playing in Freedom a bit, and it seemed worse than Gachapon. I think in Criminal it's reasonable. It's just like kind of a slow card. Like paying 2 credits, then only getting something at the start of your next turn while broadcasting it. Like that is honestly not amazing, albeit the cards you can pull are pretty good. But like it doesn't feel absurd. It feels reasonable. Okay, so we sell this, we draw a card, but we turn off our ability. That is our last Harbinger. No, we have 1 more. Okay, that's fine. Or it doesn't matter. We have all our conduits in hand. So with 2 credits, they can res an ice, they can let res a wave, or the end the run one, the echo. We could just like flat install the endurance and start hitting R&D. I think that's fine. I think that's probably reasonable. And the daily cast can become something a bit better. We can greed for 1 turn if we want to. We could pull the Harbinger and greed. The problem is like, what are we pulling with the Harbinger? It was okay in that matchup because he was tanking a lot of damage, so better than keeping stuff in hand. Sort of. But you also want to keep cards in your deck. Yeah, it's kind of cool that it offshores it to some extent. Oh, wait, we need 2 credits before we access. We should not mess this up. I guess we're doing nothing besides installing boat. We could run server 1. We know that's safe. Turn the pawn shop into cast and install the pawn shop into your hand. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's fair. Here we're just trying an endurance and a world tree. Like they can res a wave here if they wanted to. It's credit. It costs them 1 credit. But I don't want to access what could be an agenda while we have no credits. Because core damage really does matter. When we're on 2. Breach server. Okay, so we'll endurance. We'll world tree this to get a daily caster. I think we can get a telework here. It's a Giordano. Gain 3 credits. Install this pawn shop. Okay, and then we can pawn the daily cast. Or we can run R&D and world tree the cast. I think that's better. We'll pawn the face down card. Okay, install. Regolith. Okay, that we have to deal with again. Their money is the most important thing for us to keep down. So that is our goal this turn. So take clicks. We'll get the daily cast for sure. I think we'll pawn shop this. We have a boat with 4 counters. We have a boat with 4 counters and 7 credits. If we run first click, we can click through stuff. That's a Giordano, which does nothing, but we need to bring the Regolith down. If they spend money protecting it, they're in a bad spot. They can't res a bloop. I think we just charge it. If we res first click, wait, we know they're a Fairchild. They can res a second Fairchild. If we run first click, we still can, yeah, we have a world tree target with our daily cast, so let's go. Again, money in this deck is so low that you need to contest every econ asset. I think we're on 3-pin threading. I think we've lost one. Yeah, we've lost one. What can they res here? It's a pulse, we get through it. Echo wave, we get through all of it. Bloop, they can't. Gatekeeper, like that's the endurance power, right? Oh, Carl would be all their money. Like, I don't think there's a really good res here. Like just a drafter would be annoying enough with half for boat. That's a gatekeeper. Okay, well, it's 2 bow counters. Now we can still get through every ice they can res on 3. Yeah, Hikaru for them would be a terrible res, right? 5 to go down to 1 to use 2 bow counters. Like that's pretty bad. Endurance, world tree. Here we can get a daily cast is okay. I assume we're gonna pawn the telework next turn. So a daily cast is good enough. Bring this down. We don't want to trash that. So here we can do the telework. Carl has 3 subs? No, it only has 2. It has an end to run and a core damage in the reverse order. I think we can run R&D here. They could consider resing something. It gets a bit awkward for us. We've used our world tree, but like, yeah, I guess we just need to start poking. Yeah, there you go. 2 subroutines. Not the most important run. Get some money. Okay, but now we need to get breakers out. Unfortunately, we lost a Harbinger. Harbinger is like the easiest way for us to pull our breakers out. We can still pull an SMC. Like we can pull anything out of our deck, right? Yeah, Bloop is a 3. Bloop is core damage, trash program. That's a 3-1, but they need to de-res their harmonic, and so far we have no evidence that they're on harmonics. Install, advance, or not advance, credit. Okay, we have to start running. So we will. Take credits. Will we pawn this? It gets us a card draw. Yeah, I think we'll pawn this because we want to go get a breaker. So I think we'll pull SMC and then we'll run. So we'll pawn that. Hey. Oh. Okay, cool. Fixed it. So I think we just pull an SMC from our deck with Kabonesa. We'll run R&D, then run server 1. We can also just pull a Mayfly. That's a bit better and gives us some flexibility. And we can run server 1. We might hit a Hendrik here. Do we want to use the Mayfly? I guess we do. We have a bunch of these. We haven't lost any yet. And these are like totally reasonable. Sorry, I'll move my face though where you can always see the heat because that's actually quite important. Something like that. And the cool thing is that the Mayfly, we get a world tree it before it gets trashed because it trashes itself when the run ends, not when after you've used it or when the run's successful. So it's like really, really convenient. It's a Managarm. So, So we're just going to lose the Mayfly here. Now this is the Managarm. So we can spend 2 clicks to get a world tree. That's actually usually worth it. Yeah, we're going to spend 2 clicks. Because we know that's not a Hendrik that will punish us. So we'll get the endurance counter and then we'll pawn this, which is going to get killed anyways. And then we can get down a cleaver. Or sorry, a buzzsaw. they'll access that and trash it. So they still don't have a scoring remote. Giordano is fine. We have to watch out that we don't steal too many agendas. And we saw buyback, so they're probably on a lot of one-pointers, like a World Tree, Sports Medal kind of thing. Menegarm and Giordano, yeah. You got that early game, you got that late game threat. Giordano is the thing that we hopefully at some point actually trash. We probably could have trashed it there, honestly. It's just at this point, it's not very meaningful. Hopefully we draw into a pinhole, but we probably should have trashed that by now. I think our economy's in an okay spot. And now we just hit HQ. HQ is a bit difficult. Once we get down our K2 CP, we break this for 2 credits. We lost 1 Cyberdelia. We have 1 more. Card and server 1 again. Like, we can keep pushing for this. We'll install the Cyberdelia at least. It makes this a free run. They're probably flooded. Yeah, I think you're right. They're probably flooded. I would love to keep a simul chip on the table or even an SMC to threaten. I don't think we pawn this. Orbital, how's it going? All right. So Cyberdelia can come down. That drops us to 9. We break this for free. We can run this and check that. What can we get with SMC? I think we can just pull the Harbinger from our deck. So we have a pawn shop target. I think we have one, right? No, we don't. We can pull an SMC from our deck. Have a click left here. This we break for free because we get the credit back for Cyberdelia. Cyberdelia returns a credit. When you break the first dice, you break a turn fully. Yeah, all subroutines. 4 credits here. Boats get encounters every turn. We'll do endurance. World Tree, trash this. Ooh. I think we're gonna get the conduit at some point. Scary. Wu deck feeling good? No, it's not feeling that good. It's obviously very powerful, but it feels way less good than what on the other side of the table, I'll be honest. Elevagao, makes sense. We'll pay the tax. Giordano, now it's worth trashing. Our money is a bit low. The matchup is certainly testing our endurance. Yes. And this is our second Thule game, and Thule games are such a grind. Oh, they got it. Dang. Okay. Wow. That's really rough that they found the second ontological. They still don't have credits, but now we just have to like lock R&D. But that's so bad. Like, this is why you keep the claw on the table with the SMC, which we just got rid of the SMC, but of course we did. Okay. So daily cast, do we pawn shop this for 3 and a card, or would we rather get another daily cast? I think we actually pawn shop this and then we replace the pawn shop with another card. All right. Conduit, we can pull at instant speed. Let's just start with some singles, I guess. Endurance, World Tree, we'll get rid of this. What do we want? It's only Nuka, Beth. I guess it's Nuka. I didn't realize. Elevagao, okay. At least we have one of those out. Rashida. Yeah, now they're drawing an unknown card, which honestly I don't love, but we don't want to go in last click. So I'm going to install the SMC and hope that it threatens a clot. Again, this is a 2-2 agenda, the last one. And if they get the last one in Elevagao, they can like really cheese the game out. So again, it's not about the hand size in this deck, I reckon. It's more about the last ontological. If we steal that, they have a way harder road. Not that they can't Audacity or anything like that. We should go HQ too, because we're only break Fairchild 3 for 1 credit. We should definitely swing HQ. They can't threaten snare either. Do we have a target here to... Oh, we don't have a pawn shop, so who cares? We have 1 more Cyberdelia in the list. We have 2 more SMC. That's actually really good because they allow us to pop our SMC and then like get back Harbingers. We have no more pawn shop. It doesn't matter. Man, how's it going? I've been waiting for this one. Yeah, me too. I've been like on the sidelines, really scared to play this thing because it is a bit difficult and it is a bit of an endurance match. Ontological is wild. Love that agenda. The flavor for this thing is absolutely frightening. Absolutely frightening. 1 card propping up every Thule deck in the world. A really good 4-2 agenda. I missed what happened to the conduit. We didn't install it. We haven't pulled it out yet. We've been slow. We will probably World Tree for a conduit this next turn. Admittedly, our economy is not like existent. Stock buyback gain 6. Okay, they have money. So we don't have economy. Our Parisha is long gone, but they've only been playing upgrades. HB's most evil themed card. It kind of is. It's a 2-2. It is a 2-2. So How do we deal with this? What is this? Could be an agenda. They spent a lot of time thinking about it. It also could just be a Hendrick. At this point, I think they might just jam Hendricks on the table. We have boat. Well, we could just nuka. Maybe we draw into economy. We could just nuka. We nuked. I think we can overclock server 1. I'm pretty okay overclocking server 1. These cards are burning a hole in their pocket. Beth seems okay. This makes money. I think if an econ for now, at least, yeah, it's getting close. Like, they keep jamming cards on the table, like in their most server. We don't have economy to trash stuff, let alone play Managarm. We're gonna a World Tree. Maybe this Threat of the Clod is enough. Endurance, World Tree. For a Conduit. For free. It's a Droopstad. Trash it. No, now we can't. Sure gamble. I think we'll install the Clot. We're 1 click short. Is it Core Sports? No, it's too late. It's too late. We haven't seen any like fast events yet. But we made some really bad misplays. We should only be on 1 core damage, which is obviously the world of difference. We like tanked it to a Fairchild on click 2, like a bit of a mistake. Second Endurance, I don't know, maybe. Citadel is unlikely, but I'm gonna respect it. I'm gonna respect the distributed tracing. We haven't seen enough influence. We've seen the buybacks in this. Haven't even seen a spin doctor yet, have we? Just the buybacks. It's only maybe up to 6 influence. They're doing a good job. Like, they're forcing us to check this slowly as opposed to like hammering centrals, which is clearly like our next goal. The last ontological is on the bottom of R&D. I don't know what they do. If it's like the last card, like what do they do? Like we run this for free. Well, yeah, for free. Whew. Core Sports is good, mark my words. It's not bad. It's not bad. It might be worse than like just sports, but it's like easier kind of to biff into. I'd be surprised if it's better than just like sports. 2 betters, 3 sports. But yeah, it's not bad. I do think this package works well in fast events. You can also consider swassing the mem diamonds for cyber deals, even other free targets. I'm okay with the 5 hand size. I think you're right. 4 hand sizes would be okay. We're also going to run into a bunch of Nightmare Archives. Like, if you see this thing, you know Nightmare Archives, Giordano. So like the game is going to go on for so much longer. So I don't know. The cool thing is, if we steal the last ontological and we have T400s, we can just eat the Nightmare Archives as core damage. Like, that stops mattering, which is kind of cool. But yeah, I don't know. Our economy is like kind of tight, but like we're breaking everything for 1 credit at worst. But yeah, getting another cyber deal out, it's not the worst idea. In terms of like extra hardware to get rid of, our flameouts will become cyber dealias. Just triple draw. Yikes. We're running HQ. We are running HQ. No world tree target this turn. We can actually world tree like the Reaper or Reaver, excuse me. I think it triggers on itself. Does Reaver trigger when you trash itself? It's also throw out a lot of agendas and archives, and it's hard to like not take core damage. And if they drew like a ontological halfway through that turn, it gets really awkward for them. So this is only 1 credit because we get the credit back. Come on, give us an ontological. I don't think we're gonna world tree. There you go. It's in there. I care about hand size. Draw. Oh, Maker's Eye. Sick. Draw. Remove tag. Found some influence. And again, they're hoping we messed up. And so far we have messed up pretty considerably this turn. Or this game, excuse me. We did make a mess up. Regolith, okay, they have money. We're gonna go deal with that, I think. Oh, we don't have economy. You have Nuka for draws? Yeah, we have Nuka. Oh, we could have hit Nuka instead of click for draw. Yep. Oh, we were keeping it for pawn shop, aren't we? Yeah, we could have done that for sure. For sure. All daily casts are out. Our economy in our deck is pretty limited. Yeah, we could have saved 2 clicks there. Okay. What about this turn, you know? It's just more time for them to find ontological, which is really awkward. What do you got? Boats at 8. Can you tax us out? They can only tax us out with upgrades, and they legitimately can tax us out with upgrades. So they only got a hedge fund worth of that turn. They forced us to draw. I don't think we need a pawn shop. This is such a grind. We probably could have just let them have money. Spin Doctor, the first of the game. I do think there's agendas in there. We need to threaten that, and we're just going to start running HQ now. They've drawn a heck of a lot, and I think they have been some stuff with like some bad agendas with other stuff again. They have a win condition attached to bad agendas. We have a clot in our bin too. We lost it to the snare, so like it's only the simul chips that give us a threat here to stop fast advance, and we only have 2 simul chips. There is a chance that we can throw out one of our hardware just to get a simul chip on the table because it's a world of difference. Managarm buyback. We can deal with those. We also have a pinhole. So here we can diesel, run R&D, see what we get. We get a cyber dealer simul chip, smash it, then run R&D. We have 16 cards left. Stop making us run the remote server. Oh, hey, Nana. Okay. Okay, so if we run here, so the order of accessing is actually kind of awkward, right? Because if it's ever Hendrik, which we haven't seen yet, and an agenda, you want to hit the agenda first, then the Hendrik. So I'll access the bottom first, then the top, I think. If that's the case, we are going to take a core damage no matter what. Let's just go. Oh, this actually plays poorly into Pulse. If it's Pulse, we can like bounce, but that's bad too. Yeah, we probably shouldn't have played the hedge fund there. We have way more money than we need. Yeah, that was wrong. Yeah, if this is like a really cheeky Pulse they've been holding, but we have no evidence that they're on harmonics. Oh, wow. Okay. So order of access matters if it's Hendrik and agenda. Oh, it's a Giordano. That's fine. We have money. Endurance. Choose a target for World Tree. I don't think so. We'll pay 4. Steal this. It's a Spin Doctor. Oh, you can't use that after we paid 4? Oh, hey. Oh. You can't use that after I've paid for the Giordano. I don't have spell Giordano. Yeah, because it's after the successful run. Here. You can use it now. Yeah, so this is when the run's successful. And so whenever the run is successful, there's no more paid ability windows. You just start accessing things. Oh, it's all good. So we're probably not going to pay 4 here. It's also, you do get a successful run. Yeah, it's no worries. You do get a successful run. So even if we don't pay 4, we should get an endurance counter, which is sick. So what did they spin Doctor back? They haven't used it yet. Yeah, so I think they're deciding what to use. So it looks like stock buyback hedge fund, like just a grind of a game. Like just a grind of a game. So we're not going to get in there. It's only going to get more expensive. Maybe it's worth doing, but I don't think it's worth doing now. So what do? I think next turn we can like Maker's Eye. We can run HQ, but again, last click is just, we get hard punished for that. I'll just install her. She probably gets us a credit or 2. And then we can always World Tree her for whatever other resource we have in our 16 cards left. I don't think we have many. Maybe the Nuka's right, just to draw more hardware, but like, this is what I'm not excited about Thule matchups. They're an absolute slow grind, and like, I don't know. So much of this is if they drew the ontological. With now like the Spin Doctor draw in hand, they could have it. Maybe it was right to threaten a clot somehow, but we can't. So next turn, if they don't jam into server 1, we'll just Maker's Eye. Obviously, we're going to spend more money on the Giordano, but like we can always just pinhole threading the Giordano off of R&D or HQ, which is cheaper than paying the 4 here. Yeah. Again, they don't have a lot of money. They just put back the stock buybacks. Those are, I think, 5 credit cards. Control deck hates grindy games more at 11, but it's not only that. It's like every matchup into this is like really, really slow. How's it going, BK? We probably could have just like said conduit go, because if they had the ontological, they would have jammed it here. So I think we're just going to try and control R&D. They can have that. The problem is if that's an agenda and they have the Elevigao, but it has to be credit positive. I think that's more likely to be Yoshida. We'll just make Eye. They can't fire multiple snares, so we'll be fine. They click for a credit, we get a credit. Always awkward in this situation, but you have to spend your clicks. You can't pass. How long has it since we hit HQ? It's been a lot of turns. But like, it's all about the ontologicals, and if they have that in hand, right? Like they would have scored it. So I'm not that excited of going HQ. It's all about the ontologicals. Like stealing a bunch of 1-pointers is not going to help us. Stealing the ontological means they have actually like a hard time to win the game. It's also stealing the last Elevigao for what it's worth. Oh, I'm kidding. We're running our remote server. Where do you say you're not running? And they reinstall. All right. All right. Let's just go. We didn't get a credit. All right. They res the ice here. Like they're not threatening to score out really. So this is okay. Again, Rashida is the problem, but we're going to lock most of the Rashida here. They can fire a snare. Ooh, they have a Forma carry on the table. Of course, we know they have a Forma carry, but that's that awkward pause there. That's a Forma carry pause. World Tree, I don't know what Beth can give us. I have no idea what Beth can give us. Let's do the nuke account. That's all the nukas. I think Beth is done. Spin Doctor. Okay. Hedge. Low key. Thought that would be better. Okay, we can Dirty Laundry HQ. So what are they drawing into? I think we Dirty Laundry HQ. Snare gets us pretty good, but it gets their whole economy, so I feel like that's a mix. It's a wash. Do you really need 2 T400s? Yeah, it's not bad. We don't 100%. That's fine if they fire that. That's all their money. Like, they're going to consider firing this. Unfortunately, there's some weird things we might die to here. I don't know. Keeping hand sizes up, they're like kind of worth it. They're trying to hit us with snares. They can't ontological here. We knew they drew into, I think it was a Loki or another piece of ice into a Loki. So like here we just drop, depending on how many credits they are, and just start smashing R&D. I don't know. They're not necessary. We could probably get rid of one of them, but like what else are we getting? Probably the simul chip actually. Yeah, maybe we can drop one for a simul chip now. I think you're right about that. It's just I'm also worried that we haven't hit any Nightmare Archives. They have 3 credits. We should respect the Jinteki trap. We should draw once. The Jinteki ice. Oh, that's worth installing. No, this one. No cyber dealing to fix your economy. Cyber dealing only fires if we're breaking ice, and they're not resing ice, so this is not actually an economy card. Eventually it will be, but they need to res ice. But like we have endurance, right? Loki, Vitruvius. Okay, good. Put 1 virus on the conduit, so we could win in 1 run, but we could also take a bunch of core damage. So we know they're drawing into a Loki, so they don't have the ontological. Jupestad does 1 core damage, so we don't want to go down to 2 cards. Not that they can res Jupestad. We can install the simul chip to threaten Clot. I think that's fair. We should draw because we want to run next turn, and they could have snare. Let's preach that we have 10 cards installed and 38 in the heap, so every hit point we have now is from being such a large deck. Yeah, but admittedly, like we ground through our deck cards sooner than getting full value a lot of times. Like we played into it like that. But yeah, you're right. Advance. Whoa. Stock buyback. Whoa, cool. What the heck is that? What the heck is that? What's HB's ability? Hey, Clay, DeAngelis, how's it going? Returning player. This is the newest HB. It says whenever the runner steals an agenda, do core damage. If you've been playing back in the day, that's just brain damage. It's been renamed. Unless they spend a click and 2 credits. So it's a very slow deck. So we could either pinhole threading this or pinhole threading the Giordano. We're assuming that's a Managarm. Oh, we don't have pinhole. Are they on food? What is this? This like just might be a... Do you think this is a core damage trap? Oh, man. Thinking. Slow roll Ikawa. Oh, yeah. Ikawa could be like alive and well. They have 11 cards left. Assuming that's an Ikawa. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. It's Clay from the retirement home, by the way. Clay from the retirement home. How's it going? How do we do this? It an additional cost is the main difference. Yeah, it's not additional cost, so you can't refuse to steal it. So if it's an Ikawa, like that's a problem. If it's an overrider, we go down to 1 core damage or 1 hand size or 3 hand size. Actually, it's fine. Giordano is 2, 4, 6 plus Managarm is 2 clicks. So if we run now, we can spend our clicks. I think we can run now. Slamming R&D not worthwhile. It could cost us the game though, right? Like if that's an Ikawa, we lose. And they might be in a spot where they have to make a desperation play. But like we know they're not top. Oh no, we don't know what they're top decking, right? They could top deck the ontological somehow. They're probably gonna do Managarm. What's it called here? Managarm Formicary. That's my guess. Yeah, they're definitely gonna do Managarm Formicary. Luckily, Giordano happens after it. Oh, actually, we knew this. We shouldn't have run into this because they're gonna do Managarm Formicary. Ugh. Yeah, this is a bad click. Yeah, we know they have a Formicary on the table. Okay, so here we have to end the run because if we spend 2 clicks or 5 credits, yeah, we have to win off of R&D, which means we have to have Ikawa clicks left. We're going to end the run. Again, we know that there's a Formicary on the table, so that's going to be 5 or 5, and then again, and then we have to spend 6. So we should have trashed that maybe a year ago. All right, let's just conduit. Oof. Yeah, we should have thought that. I think that's also on us as a mistake. Like we knew all this was coming, and we wasted a click there. R&D multi-active with a lot of small agendas is kind of dangerous even before snare, given whatever the ID text is. Yeah, but we just start taking core damage. Like core damage does not matter unless they score the last ontological, and if that's the Ikawa, it doesn't matter, right? Like unfortunately, if we hit a snare here, they can still win. They are exactly credit perfect. The Managarm here doesn't matter. It's just endurance. Is there anything that can give us more accesses? I don't think so. We have lost our Parisha. No. We have to trash. We have to go as deep as we can. Luminal. Okay. We just take the core damage here. Because we just need as many clicks as we can. And then last click, we can run HQ. Or it depends how many cards we're going to see. At worst, 1 more bifurcation. Almost everything else should be 2 points. Yeah. And this is the cool thing is last turn, like the core damage doesn't matter unless it flatlines us. So we can run archives and like eat nightmare archives. Don't you want a conduit? Oh yeah. Excuse me. Sorry. Thank you. Huge. Thank you. Needed to do that. Yeah, thank you. Not the first time we've done that. Won't be the last. So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So we're assuming there's 7 agenda points still in the deck. Hedge fund we saw. Ontology, there you go. We'll take a core damage. And a Nightmare Archives will take a core damage. Buyback. This is good game. Ikawa in the remote server. Yeah, we saw that Formicary on turn 1. Like we definitely played. Look at that, 57 to 106 credits. No, ooh. Off it, nice. I know you have the Formicary on the table, so I couldn't bite. Probably, I definitely shouldn't have ran that at all. Yeah, we know they had the Formicary. Not only does JNet betray that with the awkward pause, but we saw it on turn like 1 or 2, so it's no big surprise. But yeah, that was it. Turn 19, and that's what I mean. Like they were kind of getting there. Admittedly, like we biffed it into the Fairchild. If we ran in with our Buzzsaw down, we could have got through the Fairchild again. We discarded a free Buzzsaw for some reason, but like I don't know. It's just such a grind of a match, and it doesn't seem like it has a proactive win condition. And then it forces us to make mistakes, and then on top of that, just struggles to go fast. Like turn 19. Wow. Yeah. 2 snares. If we had 2 snares in 1 turn, that would be a problem. We probably wouldn't respect it. Yeah, for sure. I might have hit 2 snares at some point. They didn't res any eyes. Where did the corp even spend their money? Fairchild, Gatekeeper. They res a whole bunch of upgrades, like I think 2 mana garms, maybe a Giordano and a half. How did they do the core damage? One of them we ran last click, I think. One of them was definitely the Fairchild 3, which was a problem. But like, yeah, snares. They spent 8 credits on snares, right? Like that's what happens. Thanks for the game. Yeah. And I don't know, tempo snare is probably not worth it. Like the snare, obviously, if you're on low hand size, will win you the game. But when your deck is Thule and you have Thule economy, I don't know if you can do a tempo snare unless there's some way to capitalize on it. Did they jupe stat us once? I'm not actually sure if they jupe statted us. Oh, they did. They did jupe stat with ontological on like turn 2 or turn 3. So yeah, one of them was a jupe stat, and then the other one was the Fairchild, which was a mistake. So we could have been at 4 core damage, which again would makes this so hard to score out. Oof. World Tree's kind of tricky. Sorry about that. Yeah, World Tree's kind of cool. It's kind of tricky. Again. Oh, there you go. They're practicing. They're practicing for the upcoming event. But it is fight night this Sunday. Hopefully you drop by this stream. We're gonna be streaming it again. It is Snare Bears versus Unbanned. It's Unbanned, right? I don't want to say the name wrong. And that's gonna be on Sunday, which is really exciting because we're gonna see not only are we gonna see like really top players, like the world champion is playing, but on top of that, you're gonna see new cards from Parhelion. So all the decks that secretly people have been testing, the most broken things they're gonna see the next weekend off, maybe at the Circuit Breakers, you're gonna see on Sunday. So do drop by if you want to see that. It's on Sunday. There'll be a VOD. Our world champ is not playing. Oh, Sokka's not playing? I thought he was on the roster. Okay, well, it doesn't matter. The world champion, as much as we love to see Sokka play, there's a lot of players who are like right next under the world championship, all the good Netrunner players. Wait, Sokka is playing. Kat, what are you saying? Sokka is playing. I thought Sokka was playing. I thought it was Sokka. Who's playing from Unbanned? I had the list here. But really exciting. Snare Bears prior world champ is not playing. Oh, yeah, you're talking about the Snare Bears angle. Okay, yeah. That I know. I know Snare Bears is putting forward some of their newer members too, which is really exciting because they probably don't have as much limelight as some of the players who've been maybe playing for longer, on top tables for longer. So I'm excited to see that. But yeah, everyone has to play different factions, or as much as possible, they have to play different factions. So you're actually going to see like what a good criminal list looks like, what a good shaper list looks like, what's a good anarch list looks like, what does mini faction look like, maybe. So I'm excited for that as well. Yeah, we have a world champ too. I know. For sure. Cool. It's 11:30. I think that's gonna be it for us. Thanks so much for dropping by the stream. Hopefully you had a good time. Good games to all the people we played against. Sorry we gotta play Shaper some days. Sometimes it works out. Sometimes it doesn't. CBI is gonna be wild too. 60 ticks so far. I don't know what that is, Orbital. What's the CBI? Oh, the Circuit Breaker. Oh, for sure. Yes, CBI. I thought about the card. That's amazing. Fun stream. Hey, cheers, Cody. Yeah, big tournament coming up the weekend after. That is open to all the people with Circuit Breaker tickets. Again, pay attention. If you've registered for that, you should be coming in through your email. You'll get an email from the folks on Null Signal. So watch out for that. That'll be streamed, I reckon, at some point. It's not this weekend, but the weekend after. I think that's it. Thank you so much for streaming. Deck analysis. Great to see you. Hey, cheers, Owen. Chris, Dan was camping the game last. Just got home. Sorry, Chris. It's a bit late on our side. Maybe next week, eh? Cheers. That's it. Enjoy your week. I'm going to try and get some video content up on this channel, but our next, at least this weekend, is going to be booked up from Netrunner streaming content, so it might be a bit sparse on the ground. Again, we might be here next week, maybe with Pat too. Hopefully he's feeling better. Hopefully you all wish him well. I'll hope you catch you next week. Hey, cheers, Chris. That's it. Take care, y'all.